The Winston Cup Series hasn't run a race without him since 1978. In those 17 and a half years, he never commanded much attention, except for quietly capturing the 1984 championship. But weekend after weekend, one Sunday at a time, for 513 consecutive races, he's just been doing his job and forging a record. The span of his streak alone has outlasted the careers of some of the greatest athletes in history: Larry Bird, Joe Montana, and Don Mattingly. They call him the Iceman because he's calm, cool, and consistent behind the wheel, not to mention his shy, reserved style. In the flashy Winston Cup Arena with multi-million-dollar sponsors and thousands of adoring fans, he'll be the first guy to shun the spotlight. But when the Iceman takes the green flag this weekend at Martinsville, Virginia, the spotlight will be squarely on the new Iron Man of racing.
At least it's my record, it's not somebody else's, so that makes me feel good. But, you know, I'm glad to see Terry do it. He's good and steady. He don't raise a lot of ruckus and all that stuff, and he's good and steady. And like I say, you know, we've done our thing in our time, and he's doing his thing in his time.
He was a young 22-year-old from Corpus Christi, Texas back in '79. He's driven for some great car owners in that period. Not all of his outings have been successful, but he's racked up 17 wins. Now at only 39, he may have his best years ahead of him. The record-breaking streak of 514 straight starts is about to become a reality.
Terry Labonte, what will you cherish and remember most about this incredible record you're setting here today?
Well, I don't know. I think the thing that excites me the most about it is the fact that how good this race team is and how competitive our Kellogg Chevrolet is. So, I don't know. We'll just go out and do the best we can today and kind of treat it like another race, and hopefully we'll come out in pretty good shape at the end.
That is the Iron Man, Terry Labonte, as he is in the car waiting for the command. As we will watch and see, as Terry Labonte is yet to fire his engine and the streak would become official. Waiting for the command. Some of the cars have fired early, but Terry Labonte sits and waits.
Now we'd like to introduce Mike Youngblood for those famous words. Mike, gentlemen, start your engine.
The pole sitter for today's Goody's Headache Powders 500 is the Maine man. Newburgh, Maine, to be exact, as 29-year-old Ricky Craven becomes the sixth different driver to win a pole and the sixth entry in the Busch Clash of 1997. What a difference a years make. Take a look. Last year, Craven's average finish over 23rd. This year, it is 9th. He has two third-place finishes coming at tough tracks at Rockingham and Darlington, and he is currently 4th in the point standing, just 17 points behind NASCAR's newest Ironman, Terry Labonte. Hey, but up front in the point standings, two guys are just 2 points apart. With more, here's Bill Weber.
Dale Earnhardt has 150 starts on short tracks, 26 victories, 6 of those right here, including last fall at Martinsville. Today, the 7-time champ is looking for his 7th win on this racetrack. He starts 8th. Back here in 12th, the man he's chasing in the Winston Cup points battle, Dale Jarrett. Jarrett has never won here at Martinsville. In fact, he's never won on a short track. Dale Jarrett's best finish in short track racing, twice. He has finished 2nd, and the margin he leads Earnhardt by is 2 points. For more, let's go to John Kernan on the big surprise in the top 10.
Bill, ever since Stacy Compton qualified 9th on Friday, people are saying, who is this guy? Well, let me tell you who he is. He's a 29-year-old late model stock car champion from Lynchburg, Virginia. Compton, a lot of experience here at the Martinsville Speedway. He should run well today. Earlier this year, this is where the car comes from. 3 Lynchburg businessmen bought Alan Dillard's Winston Cup team. Their goal, give Stacy some experience, hopefully run a full schedule next year. But today, run as many laps as they can to get that valuable experience.
7 races have been completed in the 1996 season, and there you see the top 10 in points. And on the right, where they're starting today, less than 100 separate the top 6. And as we indicated a little bit earlier, just 2 points separate Dale Jarrett, the points leader, from second place Dale Earnhardt. Hi, everyone. I'm Bob Jenkins, and we wrap up the first half of the 1996 short track season today here at the shortest and slowest track. Next week, we move to the longest and the fastest track, that being Talladega Superspeedway. 1996 has been a very competitive season. As a matter of fact, more competitive than last year. Last year at this time, there were 238 points separating the top 6. We've had 21 lead changes this year, only 15 last year. 10 leaders per race this year, 7 last year. And this field is also very competitive. With more on that, here are Ned and Benny.
It certainly is, Bob. When qualifying started on Friday, folks knew that it was going to be competitive. And when it all wound up, less than a quarter of a second separated the first place car and the 32nd place car. Folks, that is an average of less than 1/100th of a second per position. Benny, that's close.
It's awfully close. What that's going to do in the race, folks, the cars are going to get in a line. And something's going to happen 25, 30 laps. One of the cars are going to slow down. And when you start having to try to pass those cars as close as they are, you got to really use your car up. Use the brakes and also use the sheet metal. The nose of these cars, they look so pretty now. But trust me, in about 200 laps, they'll be bashed in as they run up and bump somebody in the rear. And they might close up the brake ducts, and that would allow the air not to go into the brakes and them run hot, and it could be a problem. So closest competition could be a problem there.
Let's take a look at the starting lineup for today's race and how they will line up today, with Ricky Craven and Kyle Petty occupying the front row here today. We have 500 laps of competition as you take a look at the lineup. It rained here this morning. As a matter of fact, when we came to the racetrack this morning, it was beginning to sprinkle rain. It rained hard enough to dampen the track. However, about an hour and a half ago, the sun started to shine, and it looks as if we will be able to get this race in completely. As a matter of fact, the forecast calls for partly sunny skies here in Martinsville for this afternoon. Jeff Gordon starting back inside of row number 7. Sterling Marlin inside of row number 8.
And Bob, the top 18 in qualifying pit on the front stretch here at the Martinsville Speedway.
We see Jeff Bodine back in row 20 and Morgan Shepherd. 2 cars. Jeff Bodine normally runs very, very well at this racetrack. Mike Wallace. And old DW's had such a great record here at Martinsville back in row 12.
Yeah, he owns just about all the records that there are to own here at Martinsville. However, in recent times, he hasn't had all that great a luck, but today may be Darrell Waltrip's day.
Well, we're getting the signal for one more lap. It will be green flag racing. You can see them sort of move those cars around on the track to sweep in and knock anything off the rubber of the tires.
You see Irvin, one of the provisionals, also Hut Strickland and Robert Presley. Here's a unique camera angle, BP.
Wow, this is back by the right rear tire of the chat. That's the left rear tire we're watching. There's the drive shaft, the gear, all the oil lines, the fluid coming from the gear going to a cooler. This is a great shot. All right, green flag in just a second.
Big crowd, as always, here at Martinsville. Pace car under the direction of Marlon Wright today pulls off. The field comes down. Ricky Craven comes to his first green flag from the pole position. And we are underway at Martinsville. Lap number 1 with Petty second and Mark Martin. This is the roof cam on Ted Musgrave's car at the back of the field. Bill Elliott got shuffled back to 6th position on the green.
Dale Earnhardt was on the outside. He just shot up through there and moved up to 8th from his 5th, from 8th to 5th. I'll get it right in a minute.
Rusty Wallace right behind Bill.
Rusty Wallace started 5th. We see him back in 7th spot, but I don't think he'll stay there long. Race for 3rd.
Looks like Mark Martin came high off the corner. Ken Schrader got around, and here comes Dale Earnhardt.
We got a crash up in 3 and 4.
Ernie Irvin among those involved. Robert Presley, Joe Nemechek, and Michael Waltrip.
And they're all pulling away, no caution.
And this Joe Nemechek car, this is the backup car. Yesterday afternoon, in the last practice, the happy hour, he crashed, had to go to a backup.
Man, what a tough break he has had all year long. Joe, I don't know how many cars that he has wrecked this year, and many of them not his own doing. It's been a tough year for him.
The first two, Craven and Petty, pull away from the rest of the field just a little bit. Now Presley spins again right in front of Ricky Craven and the rest of the field.
He has a flat tire.
Flat, yeah.
Terry Labonte almost became involved. The caution is out. From Michael Waltrip's roof cam, take a look up front.
He's following Ricky Rudd in the Tide car. Jeff Bodine down on the inside.
I see Michael got a bump from someone, and in the left rear, and around he goes.
Now the second incident that occurred just in front of Ricky Craven and Kyle Petty. Robert Presley spins again.
And Presley was involved in that first crash with Nemechek, and I'm sure the left rear tire was injured there.
John Kernan reports from Presley's pit.
Bob, not just a left rear tire. The left rear tire was completely flat. Here comes the pace car. The car is stalled. Robert Presley gets it fired in a way, but a lot of significant sheet metal damage on the left rear quarter panel, and he better watch the speed limit going down pit road. It looks like, is he going to beat the pace car out? Yeah, Robert Presley will beat the pace car out. One quick report about Joe Nemechek. He is in the pits, and they're working on the right front. It looks like possibly some right front suspension damage on Joe Nemechek's Burger King Chevrolet.
New pit entrances and pit exits at each end of the racetrack allow these cars to get in and out of the pits without interfering with race traffic as Presley goes back into his pit stall on the backstretch.
All right, the light is out atop the pace car. We're going to be going green next lap. And Bob, they don't enter there in the pit road. That is just the exit. There's the exit for the pits on the front stretch. As the pit work is finished, they will go around that road and blend with traffic as they come off the second corner. There's the exit.
Bill has a report on the 98 car.
Jeremy Mayfield, part of that. The hood on his RCA Ford is bashed in. I just talked to Tony Furr. He said we're going to be okay, but they are clearly concerned about the possible overheating of that car since the front of it's closed off. Green flag coming out. Here we go again.
Craven leading him down. Green flies back to racing at Martinsville on the Goody's Headache Powder 500. Ken Schrader is running in third position. He also crashed during Friday's practice session. This is a backup car that he is driving.
A roof camera on the top of Mark Martin's car.
You see Dale Earnhardt up ahead, to the outside of Schrader in the corners trying to get around him. Now here comes Rusty Wallace to the inside of Bill Elliott. That's the battle for sixth position.
Well, they started in third.
And Rusty Wallace will take that spot.
Right behind Bill Elliott now is Dale Jarrett. We're going to be seeing this shot a lot this afternoon, Benny, and as the afternoon goes along, I'm sure the brakes are going to become redder and redder on these cars.
This is Ricky Rudd's right front.
And they go into this race with a mindset, hey, we got to be easy on those brakes. And the crew chief will keep telling them, easy on those brakes, easy on those brakes. You got 500 laps. But sometimes it's just hard to beat. Sometimes you're harder on them than you think you are.
Exactly what I was trying to say in the opening, and didn't do a very good job of it. That's exactly right. And there we see the brakes starting to heat up because as you run across traffic, you got to start using those brakes, and they'll start heating up.
Ricky Craven leading here with 12 laps completed in the Goody's Headache Powder 500 at Martinsville, Virginia. We'll take a break and be right back with more racing. ESPN Speed World presentation of the Goody's Headache Powder 500 from Martinsville is being brought to you by Quaker State, the motor oil that exceeds the highest standards for engine protection. By Allied Signals Fram filters. You can pay a little now or a lot later. By AC Delco Automotive Parts. AC Delco, it's like buying time. And by the NASCAR Story. To order, call 800-71-NASCAR. Here's Ricky Craven leading Kyle Petty first and second after 20 laps here at Martinsville this afternoon. Craven, the pole sitter, has led more laps today than in his previous 39 starts in NASCAR Winston Cup competition.
And these two cars are pulling away from our third-place car of Dale Earnhardt. There you see in our scoring pylon that Earnhardt is third. Rusty Wallace has worked his way back up to fifth spot. But the front two pulling away.
Look at Dale Earnhardt. He started 8th, moved to 5th by lap 4, and now is up to 3rd. He passed Ken Schrader a few laps ago on the outside, and that's the most difficult way to do it, but Earnhardt got the job done.
I think he had a little bit of help from Schrader. Schrader didn't really fight him that much. He gave him plenty of room on the outside instead of going by.
And now Ricky Craven's car starting to slip and slide a little bit, and Kyle Petty, the Coors Light Pontiac, just closes up right on the back bumper. Watch how he goes to the corner faster than Craven.
Ooh, little bump there maybe coming off the corner, close at least.
Let's see, Kyle hasn't led a lap this year, has he?
No, he has not. As a matter of fact, the last time he led a race was in Dover in June of last year, the race he won. Now, Stacy Compton has fallen back to 16th position. He had a side-by-side race a while ago for a lot of laps with Jeff Gordon. Jeff has passed him. Stacy is running in 16th position, but I don't think that's really of any concern to him. He just wants to keep it clean today and finish the race.
He's been doing a good job. He did race side-by-side with Jeff Gordon for a number of laps, but gave Jeff room down on the inside. Now Sterling Marlin gets on the inside of him, but he's just, like you say, wants to get some laps in.
Wants to find out what it's like to run 500 laps in a NASCAR Winston Cup car.
Independent Home Cable and Innovative Machine are the sponsors on Stacy's car. He's done a lot of testing here at Martinsville, and this is the Alan Dillard team from last year that was purchased by Dean Monroe. And they decided to make their debut here, and he's done a great job in qualifying 9th position. Kyle Petty, meanwhile, still trying to get around Ricky Craven. This is the battle for the lead. Kyle may have the opportunity now as he goes to the inside of Ricky.
Yeah, Ricky went into turn 3 a little bit high. I think he did that purposely. Give Kyle plenty of room down there. He knew that his car was faster right now, so he's not going to hold him up, take a chance off of bumping and getting wrecked, so he lets Kyle go on by.
And so for the first time in 1996, Kyle Petty is at the front of a Winston Cup field. Here's a Fram field summary. The numbers in parentheses indicate their starting position.
And Terry Labonte just passed Bill Elliott in McDonald's car to take over, I guess that's 6th spot. There's Dale Jarrett behind.
Officially the Iron Man of NASCAR Winston Cup history. 514 consecutive starts here today.
You know, the amazing thing is that right now he is 39 years old. He's the same age that Harry Gant was when Harry was a rookie.
That's a good point.
Here's Rusty Wallace making a move on Ken Schrader. The Miller car passes the Budweiser car.
And that puts Rusty up to 4th place. Rusty Wallace has 5 victories at this racetrack.
3 in a row. This race he's won 3 in a row, hasn't he?
As a matter of fact, nobody has won a spring race here since '92.
And there we see the camera underneath Rusty Wallace's car. You see the loop under the drive shaft. That's in case that the drive shaft breaks, it doesn't fall down and hit the racetrack. And inside that loop, you see a fan belt. There's a fan belt wired to the loop in case a piece of debris would come up and throw the belt off the pump that pulls the fluid out. Right back there is a little belt that pulls the fluid out of the gear into a cooler in case something knocks that belt off. They run under the car, snip that new belt off, and put it on. That way they don't have to take the drive shaft loose to do it.
A lot of travel in that car as he goes through the corners.
It really is. They're running very, very soft springs here at Martinsville.
Derek Cope and Jeremy Mayfield are battling for position.
And I see what happened to the nose of the 98 car now. Go look at the tail of the 12 car.
That's 10th position they're fighting for.
And that's what I was talking about in the opening of the show. See the nose of that 98 car, it looked beautiful about 30 minutes ago.
Lasted less than about 20 laps. Now we see Jimmy Spitzer to the inside of Kenny Wallace.
That's for the 28th spot. 28th, 29th, 30th. We see Ernie back in the 28th car. He was involved in that spin. You ever see Jeff Gordon taking a spot away from Labonte?
That's 12th. Jeff Gordon moved to 12th position.
It's just steadily moving on up through there.
And back to this battle now as Ernie Irvin gets in the mix and goes to the inside of Kenny Wallace. Ernie was involved in the spin that we had in the early going that did not bring out a caution.
And one reason these guys are fighting so hard, Bob, the leader, Kyle Petty, is not too far behind them. So their spotters have told them, hey, the leader's coming up. He's 3 or 4 seconds behind you, and they want to stay on that lead lap if they possibly can.
Now, Robert Presley there in the 33 car is already up.
Oh, he hits a curve that time and just totally misses the corner. And never see Darrell Walter trying to go by Robert Presley.
There's the leader, Kyle Petty. And look at the damage on Presley's car.
He is 1 lap down as a result of that spin he got involved in earlier.
This is also a first-time placement with a camera on the seatbelt of the car. And oh, Presley is into the wall in the backstretch, rides the wall up into turn number 3. What a tough afternoon it's been for Robert, and the caution comes out.
And we saw he and Michael Walter making some contact. You ever see Michael Walter spun?
Yep.
How did that happen? Evidently, Michael cut down a tire. Man, he's already got the helmet off.
Yeah, he's about to climb out with helmet off. Here's a replay of what happened. And indeed, Michael Waltrip to the inside of Robert.
So they get together a little bit there. Both of them gets a little sideways. And right there, that might have cut Michael's tire. We'll see a little later on as Presley gets into the wall, goes all the way down the backstretch, up into almost turn 4, rubbing the outside wall.
Now they're in their car camera. Watch as he goes through 1 and 2. Now let's see what happened to Michael Waltrip's car.
Another angle down on the inside as Michael Waltrip in the sit go forward, slips a little bit there, gets into Waltrip, to the 33 car Presley, and into the wall he goes. And he stays up against the wall all the way to turn 4.
He's out of the car, walking back toward his pit area, and we do not have the leaders coming in for a pit stop this early. Some of the cars are pitted on the backstretch, and we see Brett Bodine and several others back there. John?
We would expect most people to take just right side tires only, Bob. That's what we're hearing here on pit road as Darrell Waltrip is in. Also, Jeff Burton is in. Ted Musgrave is out there. One note on Robert Presley. Just before he crashed over here, before he and Michael Waltrip got together, he had radioed and told his crew that the car would not turn. So apparently he was suffering from a very bad push.
Well, it's pretty badly damaged, and the crowd rises to its feet and takes a breather here as the field is under caution for the first time this afternoon. Once again, show you why we have gone under caution here. This is the replay from Michael Waltrip's camera as he ran down the backstretch into turns 1 and 2 with Robert Presley. Now Waltrip drives down into corner number 4. And he spins. Wow. And came to a rest in the middle of turn number 4, so the caution came out. We'll be back with more of our live coverage of the Goody's Headache Powder 500. There you see the top 15 as the 46th lap has just been completed and the lights atop the pace car are out. We'll go back to racing next time. Kyle Petty at the front of the field here this afternoon.
See the cars weaving back and forth, trying to scrub any debris, any small pebbles, anything they might have on those tires. Because when they charge down in turn 1 on this first lap, they want the tires to stick and turn the car.
Elmo Langley had surgery this past week. He's not driving the pace car. We are set to go.
Marlon Wright is the pace car driver. Michael Waltrip will lap down, comes up, and here we go. Now there's Earnhardt going by Craven, trying to get alongside Ricky Craven.
And Craven gives him room.
And here's Rusty Wallace going by Craven. Moves in the third spot.
So Ricky drops from the lead back to fourth position. Earnhardt trying to get around the lap car of Michael Waltrip. We watch from Rusty Wallace's roof cam.
Jared Cope, the main and tail car, just moved in the top 10.
Well, apparently, Jeremy Mayfield had a problem down between turn 1 and 2. I didn't see it, but he dropped 2 positions. He was in 10th, and now he is back to 12th.
And moving to 11th was Jeff Gordon.
And Rusty Wallace trying to go on the outside of Earnhardt. Now he goes back to the inside. He'll try on the inside of Earnhardt.
Rumble down into 3, and Dale's going to let him have the spot. Rusty Wallace now second behind Kyle Petty.
21 car, Michael Waltrip. They took the engine out of the car last night. They stayed here until about 6 o'clock. Took it back to Stewart, which is only about 35 miles, and worked on that engine until 2:30 this morning. Brought it back and installed it this morning.
Wow. Jerry Punch is standing by with Robert Presley.
Robert, a wild start at Martinsville. What all happened out there?
I don't know. That's what we really get for starting in the back, I guess. First there, somebody spun somebody out. I just went up there and stopped and was getting ready to pull off, you know. Knew we had a good car run good yesterday afternoon. And the 87 car just come in there and, I don't know, maybe he wasn't watching or spotter didn't tell him, but that just about ended our stay, and then the 21 car helped cap it off.
How bad is the car hurt? The crew's still working on it here.
Yeah, it's hurt pretty bad. You know, we hit kind of head on there, and it burned a lot of the wire electric short. I don't know. We might get back out.
A very disappointed Robert Presley beside a very used-up Skoll Chevrolet.
Coming off his best finish ever in his career last weekend at North Wilkesboro when he wound up 4th. Here's Mark Martin. We're on his roof cam. He's in 7th position. That's Terry Labonte up ahead and Michael Waltrip also.
You want to be careful not to make those bumps that Ben was talking about.
There we see Mark Martin go down on the inside of Michael Waltrip. And see Michael Waltrip go down the post by the windshield is the A pillar. The post down between Sitco and 21 is the B pillar. And the last one down by the rear window, that's the C pillar. The camera that we saw just a moment ago is located in the B pillar, right between the 21 and the Sitco on the right side.
We're always trying to come up with new and different camera angles and where to put them. Now, we must get permission from NASCAR every time we come up with an idea. They've been very cooperative with us in allowing us to put cameras at various locations, including that very unique perspective.
You saw the camera there on top of the door. What a great shot it was a moment ago.
There it is again as we look back on Bill Elliott. Look how close he comes to the wall. A step above the old dog can, BP.
Yes, it is. As a matter of fact, Jeremy Mayfield has Nipper right in the right window of his car. One of the stuffed dogs, the RCA cars.
Yep. There is Jeff Gordon, who has come up to 11th. He is now tied for 5th in the point standings with Ricky Rudd, 93 behind Dale Jarrett, the points leader. He started 13th, has gained 2 positions since the green flag drop. We're now on lap 59.
And so the 12 car, I'm sorry, Derek Cope, a little bit loose. And that allows Gordon to get on the inside.
Might have got just a little bit of that curving down on the inside. That helped to get his car loose. And as you say, Gordon's going to take advantage of it. Doesn't have him passed yet.
It sure doesn't, does it? Now, Jeremy Mayfield will try to follow Jeff Gordon.
Looks like Jeff is going to complete the pass, and Mayfield will now attempt to do so on Derek Cope. Meanwhile, Terry Labonte moves to the inside of Ricky Craven. This is the battle for 4th.
And Labonte, well, I start to say he had the position, but Craven comes back on the outside.
Field summary for you there showed that all but 3 cars are on the lead lap. Kyle Petty has about a half a straightaway advantage on 2nd place. Rusty Wallace. 63 laps are completed of the 500 at Martinsville Speedway in Virginia. Petty leads the Goody's Headache Powder 500 at Martinsville Speedway in Virginia after 68 laps. Now, Ricky Rudd has been dropping back, and Ted Musgrave has been trying to pass him for several laps. This is back in 25th and 26th position.
Yeah, Ricky has lost 4 or 5 spots in the last 3 or 4 laps. Looks like his car is pushing. He goes in the corner, and it will not stay on the bottom of the racetrack, which allows the other guys to just drive up under him.
Well, one guy who isn't having any handling problems of any kind is the leader, Kyle Petty. We timed lap 62 through 66. And on lap 62, he was 1.9 seconds ahead of 2nd place Rusty Wallace. He increased that to 2.4 by lap 66.
That's some pretty impressive times there. The qualifying time was 20.34 for Ricky Craven, and Kyle is still running around 20.80. He hasn't lost much time. We've run 70 laps.
Good 3-car battle here. Dale Jarrett, Jeff Gordon, and Jeremy Mayfield. This is 9th, 10th, and 11th.
To the inside, hopes that Dale Jarrett will think he's there and go up the racetrack. Jarrett didn't fall for that trick. He's going to try it again. That way he does take the spot.
And now the battle for 3rd position, Dale Earnhardt and Labonte. Meanwhile, you see Jeff got by Dale, and now Jeremy Mayfield will attempt to do so. Jeff Gordon only 1 top 5 in 6 starts here at Martinsville. And there is Terry Labonte going to 3rd. So the Iron Man is feeling his oats here, or his Kellogg's cornflakes, I should say, here this afternoon. And now Jarrett loses 2 positions quickly as Derek Cope comes inside and drops Dale back another spot. Bobby Labonte now pulling up on the back bumper of the red carpet lease Ford.
Yesterday in practice, Dale Jarrett was real happy with his race car. It was cloudy, a little bit cooler than it is today, so apparently it's not working quite as good.
Yeah, I don't think anybody set up their cars for a sunny day here today because it has been cloudy, overcast, and in some cases rainy during the weekend, but nice bright day today.
And we see Johnny Benson, the Pennzoil Pontiac, and also the STP Pontiac and Bobby Hamilton closing up.
Now, BP, there's going to be a fine levied against Johnny Benson. They haven't announced how much, but they found what they said was an illegal clutch in that car after qualifying, or actually after the final practice yesterday. And they have determined they will fine him, but they haven't announced how much.
And the clutch simply was a little bit smaller in diameter than a stock clutch. So
here's Stacy Compton, and he's hanging in there in 18th position. He's dropped back to that rather quickly, but he's held there for several laps now after starting in 9th. But as we've indicated before, he's just getting laps on the car. He said in your first interview with him after qualifying that he just wanted to finish the race here this afternoon.
And I tell you what, we got a mess down here. And that Kenny Wallace goes around. Square D car. Put it in gear, Kenny. Come on, hurry. He's already a lap down.
No caution yet. No caution.
Yeah,
He's
there
trying to get it fired, and he does.
Looked there was some contact between he and the 99 car of Jeff Burton, I believe.
And that was that mess you were talking about. There were about 8 or 9 cars in that group.
There's a little bit of debris on the backstretch.
That's a piece of brake hose. And I tell you, whoever missing that is going to need it. As Kyle Petty goes by Brett Bodine in the Lowe's Home Improvement Warehouse car.
Yeah, Brett hoped that caution would come out there a moment ago, but it didn't.
There's a spin by Kenny Wallace.
I never see Kyle Petty, the leader, go by.
And there is the debris on the backstretch.
That's just a piece of rubber. So I don't know what, if NASCAR would deem that to be
necessary for a caution, huh?
Yeah. Let's see, there's the difference between the 5, Terry Labonte, and the 42 of Kyle Petty. 3.02 seconds. We'll watch that interval as time marches on and see if Labonte is getting closer or falling back.
Kyle is getting in some pretty heavy traffic now, beginning to lap the tail end of the field. Darrell Walters will be the next one. Darrell is running in 31st position.
I tell you what, you got to take your hat off to Rusty Wallace and his people, because Billy Woodruff and David Evans came from there. The crew chief and engine builder on Kyle Petty's car came from the Rusty Wallace operation over the winter, and that's probably basically the setup that Rusty Wallace runs on that Pontiac. And right now, Rusty Wallace's setup is running first and second.
Good point. There's Nemechek. He is 18 laps down.
Here's Lake Speed and Ted Musgrave running side by side, 26th and 27th.
Jeff Burton just went a lap down. Darrell Walker got by Jeff, and Darrell moved up to 30th position, but he's right in front of Kyle Petty.
Talked to Howard Comstock this morning, the crew chief on the Family Channel Prime Star car, and he said that, you remember that great run he had last year, Ted Musgrave? And
yeah,
he said
he's second.
Yeah, Musgrave. They tested here, and Musgrave liked this car better than the one last year. So he's unable to make this charge toward the front, and Ricky Rudd falling on back is about to lose 26th spot.
And not too far behind him is the leader. There he is. There's Kyle, about to put a lap on Darrell Walker, who I guess has the best record of anybody here.
He sure does.
And look at Kyle just drive that car right on the bottom of the racetrack, actually touch the curve.
Darrell Waltrip has 11 victories at this racetrack. 27 top 5s out of 42 starts. Hey, there's somebody that's established a pretty enviable record in NASCAR Winston Cup racing. That's the king, Richard Petty, as he watches his driver, Bobby Hamilton, who's running 13th. We'll be right back. We are under caution. Dave Marcus has spun up in corner number 4. He was running in a big pack of cars. We'll be able to see it a little bit later as Dave gets the car righted. But the caution is out on the racetrack. And with nearly 100 laps completed, we'll be seeing some pit stops now.
Oh, yes, we'll be seeing a bunch of pit stops now. And here comes the pit. Here they come down pit road. Kyle Petty, Rusty Wallace, Labonte, Earnhardt, Craven, all of them.
Boy, they slam on the brakes, though, and stay under the speed limit of 35 miles an hour. Here's Bill Weber in Rusty's pit.
Rusty Wallace very loose, very loose. Big chassis adjustment. Paul Vanderland cranks in the wedge. go. There's one round. They wanted to put three. He's working on the second one now. Right side tire's already on. Now they're putting on the left. They've made the chassis adjustment. Rusty's just about to leave and head toward Jerry Punch and Kyle Petty's pit.
Right side tires already going on. Left side tires going on. When Kyle hits the brakes, brake does just forward off the left side as Kyle is down and away. Left side tires going on Craven. Here is Earnhardt and Craven and Jeff Gordon dashes back to turn one. Let's go to John Kernan.
Bobby Hamilton, a 4 tire changes. Rusty Wallace sweeps down the backstretch. They also make a chassis adjustment on the right side as he is down and away after a 4 tire change with several cars on the backstretch competing off pit road, including Lake Speed.
So Bobby Hamilton comes back out, but the man who did the job in the pit area and will be at the front of the field is Rusty Wallace. Crew did a great job.
Here's what caused the caution flag. This is Stacy Compton's car. Dave Marcus on the outside. Just a little bit of a bump from Stacy Compton, and around went Dave Marcus in the Prodigy car.
As they were coming off of turn 4, when you're almost out of control there anyway, and Compton just got him just a little bit, and that spun him around.
And here's the proof of what I said just a few seconds ago. Rusty Wallace, look at the times, 32.4, 35.1. That's the total time entrance to exit. But Rusty Wallace's crew gets him out first, and he is behind the pace car as the track is being looked at before we go back to green. You're watching live coverage of the Goody's Headache Powder 500. And there is a shot of brakes that have gotten way too hot on Kyle Petty, and he was running second. What's the problem there, BP?
I don't really know. I guess that they've blown a seal in the caliper, and brake fluid is leaking on the rotor.
Harvard, find one of the guys and get him out here in front of the office and meet one of the guys with material handling. We've had a problem with the floor in this restroom out here.
I don't think that's Kyle Petty's radio we're listening to.
I don't think so either.
He don't know anything about fixing the floor in the restroom.
No, that's maintenance department there at Martinsville Speedway, I guess, overriding his radio. Boy, what a tough break. The man had such a great race car.
Yeah, he sure did.
Now he's a lap down.
Think that'll make the blooper reel, BP, that restroom comment?
I would imagine so. I can't believe it's fixed already.
Well, the field is about to go back to green, so Kyle is losing laps here as he sits in there and gets this repair done on the right front of the car. There are the spotters as they're getting ready to tell their drivers, go, 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 because the pace car is just about to turn off the racetrack. Stacy Compton, by the way, lost a lap during that pit stop.
And Ted Musgrave and Morgan Shepherd and several others lost a lap as they came to the line, slowing down up there for that accident as we get the green flag. So there are several cars that got lapped right there at the end. We're showing 24 cars on the lead lap right now.
And we see that Jeff Gordon is in third place. The DuPont Chevrolet, and Earnhardt is in fourth. Gordon did beat Earnhardt out of the pits, and there we see the pole sitter Ricky Craven in fifth. I'll tell you what Stacy Compton's going to say tomorrow when folks ask him about his trip to Martinsville. He said, I had no idea how good these guys are when it comes to driving a race car.
And pitting and all of those kind of things.
Everything in the whole package.
Yeah.
Folks, I wish some way, somehow I could tell you just how good that they are. Every one of these guys, Sterling Marlin, Dale Earnhardt, Jeff Gordon, Rusty Wallace, Dale Jarrett, they are the best in the world.
When 36 or whatever cars come to a racetrack like this, and all of them qualify within a quarter of a second of each other, you know that they're just about equally matched in talent. By the way, we'd like to acknowledge those who went home and didn't make the race. Elton Sawyer, Randy McDonald, Steve Grissom, Dick Trickle, Bobby Hill, and Ward Burton, and Wally Dallenbach Jr., and that's the first time since 1964 that a Bud Moore car has tried but failed to make a race. Wow.
That was too bad.
Here's a Fram field summary. Again, the parenthesis numbers indicate where they started. Mayfield is up from 16th to 8th. Marlin from 15th to 6th.
And Sterling Marlin's pit crew did a great job. He was running about 13th. And when the pits ran about 13th, came out 7th.
And Ernie Irvin's crew did a great job also. He was almost lapped, and there he is up there in 13th position.
There's Ernie Irvin right in front of Mark Martin.
24 cars on the lead lap. 24.
Jimmy Spencer was one of those that got caught right at the line. Kyle Petty got by him. They had slowed for that accident up there with Dave Marcus spinning out, and Kyle had some momentum, so he drove right through there and lapped several cars as they came to the start-finish line. Spencer was one of them.
Mark Martin's dropped clear back to 13th.
Yeah, he must have had a bad pit stop.
Well, he had trouble getting out of the pits. There were tires all over the pit lane. He ran over a tire. His car got up off of the ground coming out of it. He had to be wondering, has it knocked the toe end out of line, or has it done some other damage? But apparently it did not do any major damage. He's still out there running.
Terry Labonte, meanwhile, closes in on the leader of the race, Rusty Wallace. As we watch Mark Martin, here it is, about 4 or 5 car length separation now between the two, and Labonte closes in. Let's talk to Kyle Petty and see what the problem was with that car.
Kyle still sitting in the Coors Light Pontiac. Kyle, you had a great race car. What happened out there?
I don't know. We were good until we made the pit stop. I don't know if something got caught up between the wheel and the caliper and knocked the line off, but it pumped all the fluid out, and that's why we had a fire in the right front. It was pumping the fluid straight out of the caliper onto the wheel and onto the brake rotor. So, hey, just one of them things, man. That happens. You just got to fix it, go back out there and try to get some points. But we were running pretty good. I have fun when I get the lead. I wish I just got the lead more, man.
That's Kyle Petty, still able to smile. Now, Billy Woodruff and company are working on the right front caliper. They're actually trying to change the caliper where it was scorched and also replace some of the lines to it to try to get Kyle back on the racetrack. What a tough break.
Yes, indeed. Kyle Petty 16th in the points, trying to go back out there and get some more. This is the battle for 4th position. Earnhardt has it, and Craven wants it.
And Earnhardt has fallen back after the restart. Evidently, this set of tires not to his liking, because he's lost a couple of seconds to the front three.
The top three run nose to tail out there. Wallace, Labonte, and Gordon.
Exact picture that we saw last week in North Wilkesboro right before that race, right before that wreck that took Rusty Wallace out. He was leading. Terry Labonte was running second. Jeff Gordon was running third. And John Andretti spun. And Wallace hit him. Of course, Labonte went on to win the race.
So the Iron Man runs second now behind Rusty Wallace. Defending Winston Cup champion Jeff Gordon is third as we take another break. And be back with more in just a moment from Martinsville, Virginia. 114 of 500 laps completed. Well, as the NFL draft continues, we thought we'd show you the company that Terry Labonte has, the Iron Men of other major sports. Jim Marshall in the NFL, 282 consecutive games in 19 years. Cal Ripken, of course, was over 2,000 starts for Baltimore. Doug Jarvis of the NHL started 968 straight, and Randy Smith in the NBA 906. But for Terry Labonte, it's 514 consecutive starts in 17 years.
That was 964. What'd you get 968 out of that? What did I say? Anyway, here we are. There he is, Labonte running second. Sandwiched between Rusty Wallace, the number 2 car, and Jeff Gordon in the 24th.
And here comes 4th place, Dale Earnhardt.
Earnhardt looks like he's starting to come back a little bit on right now.
Yeah, he has gained a little bit on them. And Ricky Craven, who was gaining on Earnhardt, has dropped back from him.
There is Craven, the pole sitter of this race. You're going to count bonus money. He's down to $7,600 after that big check that Terry Labonte won last week at North Wilkesboro. As we continue our pan on back, there's the 6th place car of Sterling Marlin. 7th place, Ken Schrader. 8th place is Mayfield.
I tell you what, I'm impressed with Jeremy Mayfield. Not only today, but all season long. But this is a tough little racetrack to get around, and he and Tony Ferb got a good setup because he is really fast on RCA4.
His best finish here was last fall at Martinsville. He finished 16th. He's finished 16th twice, as a matter of fact, at this racetrack. So he's on pace for his best finish ever here. There's Stacy Compton and the 9th place car of Lake Speed.
Yeah, how about that?
Having a good run.
Lake had a very good pit stop running up in there.
If you were watching the Tonight Show with Jay Leno last Friday night, you saw this car on his show, and you also saw a little bit of other stuff that was in the car.
They have a Spam race car, stock car, NASCAR. Yeah. You know, have you seen it? They let me borrow it for the weekend. Did you see it parked today? I drove it to work today. The folks at Spam, very nice, let me borrow it. But one minor problem with the car.
Jay, you should have gone with a Spam light. Like I do.
From 24th to 9th, Lake Speed in the Spam Melling Ford. There's Bobby Hamilton, who's running 10th. Meanwhile, the leaders are approaching some slower traffic.
Gotta see the 87 car of Nemechek, the Burger King car, who was involved in that first or second lap incident with Robert Presley. Damaged his automobile, so.
And you wonder why he might would go back out there with all that damage on his car. He has moved up 2 positions now that Robert Presley and Kyle Petty are behind the wall. Well, see, he picked up 2 positions. That's 6 points back in that area. So who knows? If others fall out, he continues to run, you can pick up some more positions.
Rusty Wallace was the only driver to lead in the first 3 short track races of '96, and now with the lead here, he becomes, of course, the only to lead all 4. He led 175 of the shortened 356 lap race last year.
And he gets by Nemechek. We saw Rusty when he came off the corner get the car out of shape as he tried to drive under Nemechek's car.
1.5, now it's 1.4 seconds between first and fourth. Rusty and Earnhardt. And from the roof cam, you can see the challenge ahead for Rusty Wallace.
And that is a tough challenge.
A lot of race cars, and they're going to be fighting hard to stay on that lead lap. So he has to be patient. Kyle Petty was being very patient when he was in this situation a little while ago. Then Marcus spun in front of him, but he was able to get through it because he was patient.
That's Strickland, the Circuit City car, the number 8 in front of Rusty.
Bud is in 24th position, the last car on the lead lap.
And Rusty drives it on the outside. But meanwhile, Dave Martin's up there in front of him.
What's he going to do when he gets there?
I don't know.
You're slow down. That's what
he's going to lose the lead. That's what he's going to do.
If he isn't careful, he will. Of course, Terry Labonte is cool, too. He wasn't going to take any chances of jumping up in there.
So now Rusty just has to follow Hutt as he tries to get on the inside of somebody smoking.
Yeah, there was a puff of smoke from the backstretch back there.
Somebody probably made some contact. That was rubbing, I imagine.
Jeff Bodine and Jeff Burton were passing each other and were awfully close together. It's possible that they might have got together just a little bit.
And Kyle Petty has finished repairs to put him back in the race. And the driver who started from the outside of the front row and led early on, led 67 laps, as a matter of fact, goes back in the hunt. It's Wallace, Labonte, Gordon, Earnhardt, and Craven at Martinsville. Rusty Wallace continues to lead here at Martinsville. Terry Labonte and Jeff Gordon running second and third as both of them go to the inside and put a second lap on Jeff Burton. Just ahead of the leader, a couple of guys who got together last week, and they have gotten together again. Jeff Bodine and John Andretti.
And Andretti accused Jeff of getting into him at Darlington, so that little battle has been going on for a while.
They are back at it again here at Martinsville. We got a good perspective of it, though, from Rusty's roof cam.
Both these cars trying their best to stay on the lead lap.
Yeah, they're running 22nd and 23rd.
Oh, and Andretti gets the car out of shape a little bit.
Let's take a look at that again as they moved into turn number 1 a few laps ago.
Andretti tries to drive on the inside, and he goes into the curb, into the side of Bodine, sideways. Does a good job saving the car, as a matter of fact. Meanwhile, he has Rusty Wallace on his outside.
Robert Presley comes back out. Did we establish that Kyle Petty had come back out?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, he's back out there running. But Kyle was 38 laps down. Robert Presley's 110 laps down.
Look at this. John Andretti has fallen in the point standings from last year after 7 races. He was 13th, and this year 39th.
So Andretti lets Labonte go by. In case you missed last week's race, what we were talking about just a moment ago when Rusty was following John Andretti and Jeff Bodine. This is Rusty Wallace last week at North Wilkesboro. And that is John Andretti after he and Jeff Bodine had made some contact. Now we're in the car with Rusty Wallace, and as he closes up right on the back bumper of Jeff Bodine.
We understand that NASCAR has warned both the 7 and the 37 teams to get their drivers under control, because if they keep it up, they're both going to the penalty box.
Now they're separated pretty far on the racetrack right now. Jeff Bodine's not separated much from Rusty Wallace, but the 7 and 37 are pretty far apart, so no problem between them for a while.
Here's more with Bill Weber.
Well, there's no doubt the most concerned guy on the racetrack is Rusty Wallace. Crew Chief Robin Pemberton standing on top of the war wagon down here for the last several laps, shaking his head. They wanted by the 37 and the 7 when they were battling together. Now they're still trying to get by Jeff Bodine as Rusty charges into turn 1. So they've been watching this very closely. Now Robin hangs his head again as Rusty continues his battle to get that position on the racetrack.
He's using up the tires and the brakes, trying to get around Bodine.
Once again, that's what I was trying to say, is you have to show patience. Now Rusty's got a shot this time.
Yep. And Jeff gives him room. An incredible short track record for Rusty Wallace. Last 30 races, average finish 4th, 11 wins, 26 top 5s. Rusty finished 33rd last week after that crash that you saw with John Andretti. And another Fram Field summary.
Ricky Craven, the pole sitter, still hanging in there in 5th spot. And old Jerry Mayfield up to 6th. And now we see Terry Labonte is having the same problems getting by Jeff Bodine that Rusty Wallace was having.
21 cars on the lead lap. Darrell Waltrip remains on the lead lap. Stacy Compton has dropped to 26th. I think all cars are still running, aren't they? Robert is 113 laps behind, but he and Kyle Petty and Nemechek, whose cars were damaged in earlier incidents, are all still out there.
Well, how are the brakes coming along?
They're okay now, but there we go.
Yeah, they're warm.
they're hot. Can't help it here.
And this is in daylight. You can imagine how bright they would be at the night race at, say, Richmond or Bristol. Brake rotor really lights up as he goes down the corner and touches the brake.
You can even see it on the outside of the car, how hot they get.
Now, Ricky is not too far ahead of Rusty Wallace. There's one car between he and Rusty Wallace. He's the last car on the lead lap in 21st place. Darrell Waltrip has moved around Ricky Rudd now.
And Sterling Marlin is losing some positions here. Here comes Ted Musgrave.
Well, that's not for position.
Right.
Ted's one lap down, but just a lap ago, the 25 car, Ken Schrader, went by.
And now here comes Lake Speed to take away 8th spot, or try to, from Sterling Marlin, and he does.
Yeah, not only did Ken Schrader go by him, he pulled away about a half a straightaway.
Yeah.
So clear indication that Sterling Marlin's car is just not like he wanted to be. Or it looks like Ernie Irvin down on the inside taking the spot away.
We understand that Lake Speed only took 2 tires during his pit stop.
I'm wondering if Ernie Irvin didn't do the same thing.
I think he did, Benny, because he was back about 28th or 7th or 8th or something, and he beat a lot of cars out that were bidding on the front stretch, and he might have, but it's working good for both of them, it looks like.
So it's Rusty Wallace, a 5-time winner here at Martinsville, looking for his 6th victory and leading at the moment. Back with more from a jam-packed Martinsville, Virginia Speedway after these messages. Stay with us. Welcome back to Martinsville, Virginia. Fire on Ice tonight, 7:30 on the Deuce, 7:30 Pacific time. Toronto and the St. Louis Blues. Wayne Gretzky now with the Blues, looking to grab his 5th Stanley Cup. The Leafs, led, of course, by Doug Gilmour, who has an impressive 76 points, 4 of those in the playoffs. Coverage tonight at 7:30 Eastern time over on ESPN2. The NHL playoffs continue. You've been keeping up with those, BP?
Nope.
No?
No.
Boy, it's good stuff. I love it.
Hard enough to keep up this racing business when we're working it every week.
Growing up in the South, Bob, we didn't have much ice.
Yeah, well, I can understand that.
It's a great sport, though.
Yeah, it is. Terry Labonte, by the way, has lost a couple of positions since we last covered him. Dale Earnhardt has moved up to 3rd. Jeff Gordon and then Terry Labonte has fallen back to 4th.
He's out on the inside of Brett Bodine and Earnhardt.
Ricky Rudd has gone a lap down.
And Jeremy Mayfield has caught Ricky Craven. Battle for 5th.
And while they battle, I mentioned Ricky Rudd. He has come into the pits on the backstretch a little bit earlier than he should have been in.
He just lost a lap, Ned, so when that happened, he came in. He's 21st. John?
Bob, we expected 4-tire change for Ricky, who has been complaining that the car has been just a little bit tight all day long. The right sides are on, left sides are going on. As soon as he lost that lap, ducks onto pit road, takes on 4 tires down the way, a pretty good stop.
Once again, he will take the new pit exit around on the bottom of the racetrack and now in the traffic on the straightaway.
He's going to fall in between Mark Martin and Dale Jarrett, at least for the moment. And we look back now from Mark Martin's car as Dale is on the left and Ricky on the right.
Tire just drives on the outside of Mark Martin.
Yep, Mark Spotter told him, said, hey, he's got fresh tires. Let him go. He's several laps down. As a matter of fact, he's 2 laps down according to the scoring. system here. And Martin might have a flat tire.
Oh, he does. What's the problem with Mark? Right front.
If you
Whoa.
can see, he's down that far, down on the pace.
He's even coming in the new pit road.
It is an entrance in this case, Benny.
Yeah, it was an entrance in this case because he was just going to be a detriment, and there we see the right front tire completely flat. And that's probably caused from brakes.
He was running 13th. Comes in for a set of rubber.
And how are they going to get the jack on it? Come on, pick it up, guys. They finally get the jack on. Jerry?
It's the right foot that always takes the worst beating in the brakes and has the most difference here. Now, right now it has cost the Valvoline Ford driver of Mark Martin an unscheduled pit stop as they change the right front and the right rear. He is off the jack down to the he will lose about a lap and a half, maybe even 2 laps.
And we saw the fire that was going on while they were making the pit stop.
Here it is again.
Just went into turn 1, and
Boom,
there you
right
saw
there.
it, just the front end of the car go down, and he did a great job, really, of keeping that car out of the wall.
Now listen. Sound like a gun went off, didn't
Oh,
it?
it did.
Man.
And look at this. Now, Ernie Irvin is banging on the back bumper of Mark.
If Mark has those fresh tires, he should be able to drive on the way now.
Meanwhile, the leader, Rusty Wallace, is in heavy traffic. Here he is trying to put a lap on Darrell Waltrip.
Darrell is running in 19th position.
18th car of Rick Mast is just ahead. Then the 17th place car of Derek Cope. His last 7 races here at Martinsville for Rusty. 4 wins, 2 seconds, and a 3rd.
That's not too shabby, huh?
Pretty good average.
Sure is.
Boy, he is so good on these cuts. He's good everywhere, but particularly in the short cuts.
Tell you what, Rick Mast almost, when he jerked the rear end jerked back, almost slapped that 2 car in the left front.
Now Bill Elliott and Dale Jarrett both come up to try to pass the 4 car of Sterling Marlin.
Well, 4 car's going to lose 2 more spots. He's going to fall all the way back to 13th.
Yep.
I wonder if he's another car that might have changed 2 tires because he jumped from 13th up to 7th on that pit stop. It could be he only changed 2 tires.
Very well be. Might be showing up now. I don't know.
Look at this. The track record is 79.1. We're at record speed now, 80.3, as Ernie Irvin has moved into 7th position, passing Ken Schrader.
Ernie's having a great run here today.
Sure is.
Took a provisional to get in the field.
Ernie started back in 34th position, has moved up to 7th in the Texaco Hamelin Ford. Rusty Wallace, meanwhile, is the leader with Jeff Gordon running 2nd, then Dale Earnhardt, Terry Labonte, and Jeremy Mayfield. Jenkins, Ned Jarrett, Benny Parsons, John Kernan, Bill Weber, and Dr. Jerry Punch back at Martinsville Speedway in Virginia. The Goody's Headache Powder 500 being led at the moment by Rusty Wallace. Jeff Gordon 2nd, then Dale Earnhardt, Terry Labonte, and Jeremy Mayfield. There's the 2nd place car of Jeff Gordon. He has moved up to that spot from 13th. There's the 3rd place car of Dale Earnhardt.
Somewhere back there is old Jeremy. Where is Jeremy? There's Jeremy.
He had a couple of teeth knocked out there in the opening laps, but he's hung in there, hasn't he?
He's taking a nipper from the ride of his life. There's 41 car, Ricky Craven, our pole sitter.
He's currently running in 6th after the pole effort. And a good performance being turned in by Ernie Irvin, who is 7th, having started 34th. Ken Schrader runs 8th. The Budweiser Chevy.
Lake Speed will be the 10th place car, number 9, the Spain car.
We missed old Bobby Hamilton. There he is, the 9th place car. STP Pontiac.
Bill Elliott should be next in line after these two.
By the way, while we hunt for him, John Andretti is behind the wall with brake problems. There's Bill.
Bill in the 11th position.
Running 12th is the man right behind him, the points leader going into this race, but only by 2. Dale Jarrett. There he is, closing in on Bill. We understand it was a rear end problem on the 37 car and not brakes, but in any case, it is behind the wall. How about the 13th place car?
Johnny Benson, the Pennzoil Pontiac. Good run for Johnny. And Sterling Marlin, the Kodak Film Chevrolet, is next. And they tell me from the pits that Sterling did only, in fact, change 2 tires on that pit stop. And that's one reason he's fallen to the back. And there's the last car on the lead lap, the Interstate Battery Chevrolet of Bobby Labonte. Running in 15th. And there is how far he is ahead of the leader, Rusty Wallace, who goes to the inside and puts another lap on Stacy Compton. That is the first lap that he has lost on the track. He did lose one in the pits, but that's the first he's lost on the track. He's 2 laps down, 25th.
Not bad, 200 laps. Just lose a lap on the racetrack. Doing a good job.
He is doing a good job. He's very surprising at the job he has done. Is Jeff Burton takes his Exide battery toward the pits on the backstretch.
There's Jeff Burton's pit stop. He's got some damage there in the front end, flat nose.
I mean, it's unbelievable just how many noses are going to be knocked in before this day's over.
We were showing Stacy Compton there a few seconds ago as we watch Burton's job completed and Dale Jarrett go to the inside of Bill Elliott trying to pick up the 11th spot. Similar situation to Compton's occurred here last year. A driver came here in his first NASCAR Winston Cup start and qualified in 9th position. Remember who that was? Elton Sawyer.
Brett Bodine goes in the pits on the back as Dale Jarrett gets that. Well, I started to say he had the pass made, but
here comes Benson now.
Benson, he's going to try to get by Jarrett.
Yeah, Jarrett might gain the position, but he's going to lose one, so he's going to wind up about the same.
Sterling Marlin comes in for a stop after he lost a lap. Here's Bill Weber.
Well, they made a 2-tire change earlier, and they're paying the price for that now. 204 laps on the board. 4 tires this time. Extra man over the wall now to clean the windshield. Sterling had told his crew his car was pushing. It was pushing. They make a chassis adjustment, tighten the lugs on the left front, and Sterling Marlin returns to the race. And that's a very costly green flag stop there at Martinsville.
Rusty Wallace has led this race since lap number 96, and we are currently 206 laps into the event. Now, I wondered where in the world that came from. That was our helmet cam. All right, let's take a break. We are getting ready for the next round of pit stops, so we'll take a break and be back to cover those in just a moment from Martinsville. Jeff Gordon begins to close in on our leader, Rusty Wallace, at the Goody's Headache Powder 500 from Martinsville Speedway in Virginia. There's first and second, but the guy who's going the wrong way, who's losing some ground, is NASCAR's new Iron Man. Terry Labonte has fallen back to 6th position as both Jeremy Mayfield and Ernie Irvin have been able to pass him.
Not only 6th position, but a long distance between himself and the leaders, and he's running the high groove around the racetrack. It's like the brakes or something has gone on the 5 car.
Yeah, he's over a half a lap behind. Blake Speed just made a pit stop on the backstretch.
There you see Blake Speed exiting the pits as we watch this.
Now, Ricky Craven there in the 41 car is the next one to try to take the position from Terry.
And the 25, that is for position between Schrader and the 41.
Bobby Labonte's in the pits. Bobby just gone a lap down. He's was in the 13th position.
And there we see, there's the 18 car in the pits. Right side's being changed, going around the left side. Schrader still trying to get by Craven.
If he did it. Ken Schrader moves up another notch to 7th.
Kyle Petty still has a good race car. There's the back pits as Mike Wallace is in the Hollick Myers Ford. Mike had one of his better qualifying runs here. It's good to see him get up in there. Bill Elliott goes that lap down.
Here comes Ernie Irvin trying to take the spot away from Jeremy Mayfield.
And that would be for 4th spot. Wow, what a run. Oh, some contact between the two. Well, they say, Bob, Rubbin's racing, and they were doing some serious racing.
Eric Cope peels off, comes into the pits.
11 cars we saw just a moment ago in the pits, so that's why he's going by these guys for fresh tires.
Last 2 races here for Ernie Irvin. He was first in the fall of '93 and second in the spring of '94. Derek Cope also in for a stop as the left side tires are being changed. He is currently 2 laps down, and now will be going another one down.
He was having some type of problem. It looked like a brake problem on his car as well. They finally complete the pit work, and he starts back, and Jeff Gordon closed up on the back of the 2. Everything 43, Bobby Hamilton going in the pits.
And he's the first of the top 10 to come in for a pit stop. And he relinquishes the 9th position to get the stop taken care of. We'll take another break and be back with more in just a moment. ESPN Speed World coverage of the Goody's Headache Powder 500 is being brought to you by the more than 1,250 AutoZone stores across America. AutoZone, the best parts in auto parts. By Splitfire, enter the performance zone with Splitfire Performance V spark plugs. And by Burger King, where you can get your burger's worth. Boy, a Whopper would taste mighty good right now, wouldn't it?
I'm telling you, but look at this.
We have a new leader.
Jeff Gordon, the automotive finishes Chevrolet.
This is how it happened, BP.
Goes in the 3rd corner, and Rusty goes up the hill a little bit, and that's all Jeff Gordon needed was just an opportunity. He dove to the inside, and Rusty raced him fairly hard, but it was just a couple of laps like this, and Gordon is pulling away.
Bill Elliott's in the pits in the McDonald's Ford for 4-tire change. He got his service and he's headed back out now. Dale Jarrett comes into the pits.
Yeah, he lost a lap while we were away in 10th position. 9 cars on the lead lap. Here's the pit stop by Dale.
I'll tell you what, he must be easy on those brakes. See the yellow lettered on the right front tire? It's still on there, Ned.
And the 98 comes in right ahead of Dale. That's Jeremy Mayfield, the RCA Ford. And Bill Weber is there.
Right side tires already on as Dale Jarrett returns to the race. Jeremy Mayfield sits in his Ford. The hood still bashed in from that early incident. Now the Rusty Wallace crew gets ready to come in. As they work on the left side of the RCA Ford, Jeremy Mayfield returns to the race, and we wait on Wallace to pit.
Here he comes, slowly down. Back to Bill.
Rusty is here. This will be a 4-tire stop. They're pretty happy with how the car's been handling on this set of tires. Right sides are on, adding fuel now, working on the left side. Terry Labonte now on pit road. The Kellogg Chevy slides into his stop. Wallace working on the left side. They fold him on, wait for the left rear. tires. Wallace is around while Terry Labonte gets himself fresh rubber. His car has been pushed and pushy. The car really didn't know when he was gonna come in. But he finally has come in. 4 tires and fuel. They clean the windshield. Waiting on the tires now. And Schrader slides into his pit stall. He's had a good run here. Remember, he wrecked his original car here on Friday. Terry Labonte had to sneak his way out of pit road. They work on the right side, make a chassis adjustment on the Budweiser Chevy to Jerry Punch in Craven's pit.
They've already changed right side tires. Now left side rubber going on the car number 41, our pole sitter, Kodiak Chevy driver, Ricky Craven. Ricky really easy with the brakes. Down and away. Great pit stop by the Craven crew.
That was a great pit stop. That's something they've been doing the last few races.
Had some very good pit stops. Ernie Irvin made a good pit stop on the backstretch, and here comes the leader, Jeff Gordon, coming into the pits. Jerry Punch, it's coming at you.
As you watch Jeff Gordon come down 35 miles an hour, I'm going to tell you the Craven pit stop, guys, was 18.4 seconds. That is quick. Side tires going on the DuPont Chevrolet. Now, originally, Ray Evernham had planned to put a roundabout in the right rear because the car would not turn in the corners. But when Jeff took the lead a little bit ago, Jeff said, forget that round in the right rear. The car is doing awfully well right now. 15, 16 seconds, 17. He is down and away in 19.4 seconds. Let's go to Bill Weber.
And the Goodwrench Chevy sits in its pit. 4 tire change for Dale Earnhardt. The right sides are on. Now they whip around to the left side. Crank up the jack, change the left side tires. Clean off Earnhardt's windshield. Chocolate Mars has the fuel in. Earnhardt waits, working on the left rear. Waiting. He guns the engine. They drop the car. He's back in the race. That took a while.
Now, Dale Earnhardt did lead a lap. Jeff Gordon came in, he led that lap, and amazingly, I found this almost impossible to believe, but that was the first short track laps that Dale Earnhardt has led in 1996. We've had 5 leaders, 4 lead changes as the pit stops have, for the most part, been completed among the top 10.
And Rusty Wallace of the cars that up front, he will be the leader of that. As now the leader of the race, Johnny Benson, the Pennzoil Pontiac, comes in, has made his pit stop and continues back out. But he led a lap or so. And now it will be Rusty Wallace back in the lead.
So with all of that having taken place, we go back to competition on the racetrack with Rusty Wallace up front. We'll be back with more live coverage of the Goody's Headache Powder 500. We ride with Rusty Wallace nearing the halfway point of this event. He's the leader, and tonight on RPM Tonight, a lot of racing going on this weekend, and Kenny Mayne will have the recap of this event, plus the truck race in Phoenix. IMSA's running in Road Atlanta. That's at 7 o'clock tonight. Eastern Time, 4 p.m. Pacific. And then, of course, catch the Monday through Friday edition at 7 o'clock Eastern Time with a guy named Kernan as your host of that event. John, to be exact.
This is riding along with the leader of the race, Rusty Wallace. Now we'll go underneath the car and show you once again our camera as it looks back at the dry shaft as it goes around about 9,000 RPMs per minute. On the left is the pump that pumps the fluid from the gear up into a radiator inside the car. There's the right rear spring as it goes up and down.
You can see the brakes getting hot over there on the far right.
The rears will not get nearly as warm as the fronts. There we go back forward again. There's a filter for some of the fluids. But once again, the loop under the dry shaft is simply so in case the dry shaft breaks, it doesn't fall on the racetrack.
And they're getting the halfway mark.
250 complete. 250 to go as Rusty Wallace is the leader at the halfway point. Now let's check on Ricky Rudd's brakes.
Once again, it's the front brake, and that's about 75% of the braking that you do is done by the front wheels, 25% by the rear.
Ricky was running in the 13th position. He was just passed by the 30 car of Johnny Benson. Now Dale Jarrett goes around him. All of those cars are 1 lap down.
There we see him accelerating down the backstretch, hits the brakes, and they warm up.
Now we go to Michael Waltrip's side cam. Look how close he is to that wall as it goes flashing by at over 100 miles an hour.
I'm telling you, it does get close, doesn't it?
Doesn't look like he has any respect for that camera at all. He's not thinking about that camera, as a matter of fact.
All right, Rusty Wallace maneuvers through traffic. We can tell you that John Andretti is back on the racetrack. He was in for several laps with a rear end problem. Kyle Petty has just made a pit stop, and John Kernan is with another Wallace, Mike Wallace.
Mike has found a very comfortable seat back here, and Mike broke the rear end gear or something with the car.
Unfortunately, John, you know, we burned up a rear end gear. Not sure why we did it. This is the second or third time it's happened to us here in Martinsville. You know, you pull a lot of gear, but it should last. Unfortunately, Heilig-Meyer's Ford Thunderbird gear didn't hold up today, and you know, we had a pretty good run going. We just got a lap down at that point, about lap 200, and you know, I thought our luck had finally turned around. We struggled the last couple weeks, and thought we had some racing luck on our side, maybe a top 15 finish, and unfortunately, it didn't happen today.
That's Mike Wallace. He is sitting down here in the air conditioning while his brother is in a heated battle at the front of the pack.
A great battle at the front of the pack. Jeff Gordon and Rusty are going at it with Derek Cope up ahead.
Derek just desperately in the 12 car trying to stay in the lead lap, or at least save a lap. But finally, he just gives up the ghost and lets Rusty and Gordon go.
And that puts Derek 2 laps down. But boy, a good side-by-side battle there between Rusty and Jeff for a few laps.
Derek Cope is in the 20th position.
You know, Rusty Wallace had a straightaway lead on Jeff Gordon just a few laps after the pit stops, but the traffic plus Jeff Gordon looks like he is really coming on strong.
Separation between first and fifth is almost 15 seconds as Rusty Wallace and Jeff Gordon are well ahead of third place Earnhardt and Irvin and Mayfield.
And Jeff took a look that time to try to dive on the inside of the 2 car of Rusty Wallace. Could not quite make it.
Jeff Gordon is tied for 5th position in the point standings with Ricky Rudd, 93 points behind Dale Jarrett. There's Brooke as she watches her husband Jeff in 2nd place. How far is Dale Earnhardt behind this duo in 3rd position?
We just showed you a minute ago.
Jeff Burton has spun here, and a caution is out. So Earnhardt will be right on their bumper here after they make pit stop.
And there he went, the 3 car. They just showed you he was 13 and a half seconds behind there.
Well, I wanted to show people how far that was on the racetrack. That's why I said that.
Okay. Now then, the cars will be diving in the pits. Now, it hasn't been long since they pitted, but they will dive in to get those 4 fresh tires.
Yep, here they come. Wallace, Gordon, Earnhardt. Here's Bill Weber.
Rusty Wallace in the same car he wrecked last week. The 2, 21, 24, and the 3 in triple pits. Rusty Wallace already with right side tires on. Now they've got problems on the right rear. Problems on the right rear. The jackknight's going to have to go back. They run the track away too soon. Jeff Gordon already back on the track. 2 tires for Jeff Gordon. Earnhardt still on pit road. Gordon is away. Now Russell's going to take off with only a 2-tire change. Earnhardt still's on pit road. Now to the backstretch of John Kernan with a 28 car.
Ernie Irvin, who had moved up to 4th in the middle of a 4-tire change. Right side tires going on. Here comes Rusty Wallace from the front stretch pit. Jack up, left side tires going on. Also a 4-tire change for the 43 car. Left nuts are tight on Ernie Irvin. He's down and away. While they're just now getting to the left side of the 43 car. Bobby Hamilton waiting. Let's go back to the front stretch and Jerry Punch.
They got a problem with Ricky Craven's Kodiak Chevrolet. The car started to go and the left rear tire wasn't completely on. They had to stop the car, jack it up, and apparently now he is off. And Rusty is back in a failure there.
And now they work on the left side tires. Meanwhile, Bobby Labonte is locked in behind Wallace. They work on the left side, tightening the front tires. Rusty has to back up the car and then leaves and returns to the track. And don't forget that one, folks, lap 263.
Could have a could be a significant factor in the outcome of the race.
One thing in Rusty's favor, there are only 8 cars in the lead lap.
We are under caution here at Martinsville. We'll be back with more live coverage in just a moment. Track Facts are brought to you by Quaker State, the motor oil that exceeds the highest standards for engine protection. Here's Jerry Punch.
We talk about how important brakes are here in Martinsville and how the brakes can get overheated and you can lose your brakes, but if the brakes get too hot, you can also lose your tire. The hottest point of the car is the right front tire. That's where this reflective aluminum tape comes into being. This is the right front tire that will go on Dale Earnhardt's car later today. They put this tape around the inside of the wheel of the right front. Feeling this tape will possibly reflect some of the heat and keep that heat off the rotor from possibly melting the bead. But not only could hot brakes cause you to boil the fluid and lose brakes, hot brakes could melt the bead and cost you a right front tire. A little trick for a hot day here at Martinsville.
And Jerry, I think that's exactly what happened to the right front on the 6 car. I think they melted the bead on the tire by using the brakes.
Here we go back to green as the huge crowd rises to its feet to see the green come out. The leader of the race is Jeff Gordon. Now the 25 car of Ken Schrader is at the tail end of the lead lap. Earnhardt is second, then Ernie Irvin, Terry Labonte, and Jeremy Mayfield.
Now then, Jeff Gordon and Dale Earnhardt, I think, took 2 tires. Ernie Irvin has 4 fresh tires. Will it make a difference?
I think Earnhardt took 4, didn't he?
Did he?
I think so, yeah. Gordon only took 2.
Yeah, I think that's right.
Ernie Irvin gained a position with Rusty making that second pit stop. Look at the traffic that Rusty has ahead of him.
And that 43 car, that's for position. Bobby Hamilton is currently running in the 6th spot. Rusty Wallace now is 7th. After that miscue on the right rear tire change, he had to come back in and change the left side.
And it's going to cause him to use more brakes than he wants to use right now. He wants to get back to the front, but still in that traffic, he's going to use more of his brakes than he would like to at this point.
Right now, there are 10 cars between him and the leader of the race. Our Busch race recap shows that Jeff Gordon led only 21 of the first 268. He's in the lead right now. 8 lead changes, 4 cautions, total 23 laps. Average speed over 80 miles an hour. Those that have picked up 5 bonus points for leading a lap include Wallace, Petty, Craven, Gordon, Earnhardt. And that is it, because there are no cars officially out of the race.
Stacy Compton, the 46 car. Rusty Wallace is going by on the outside. There we see the 98 car of Jeremy Mayfield just a moment ago trying to get by the 5 of Terry Labonte. That's up in front of this battle.
Well, now we can say that there is a car officially out of the race. I guess when you put it on the hauler, it pretty much means the end of the day, huh? That, of course, is Dave Marcus.
Well, didn't we interview Mike Wallace a moment ago in civilian clothes?
Yeah, but he's back out there.
Is he? Yeah, there he goes.
Put his uniform back on, I guess.
So Dave Marcus is the only car out of the race as we go back up to the front. Gordon trying to put his teammate, Ken Schrader, a lap down.
And Schrader moves over, lets his teammate go by.
Now right behind them, that 41 car, Ricky Craven, he lost a lap in the pits when they had the jacket fell off, or the car fell off the jack or whatever. Boy, he is coming He has passed Ernie Irvin on the outside. He just went by Dale Jarrett and now has caught Dale Earnhardt, so he wants to get himself back on the lead lap.
Wow, look at that.
Now we can put Schrader a lap down there in 8th, so 7 cars remain on the lead lap. Look at Craig.
Earnhardt didn't know he was there.
Yeah, little contact there between them. Wow,
look at that.
It's going to go around him on the outside. They're trying to.
Got to pass the 24 car of Jeff Gordon before he gets back in the lead lap.
Here's more on Craven with Jerry Punch.
Guys, what happened with Craven on that pit stop was the air gun got jammed on the left rear, and they pulled the tire off. When they pulled the tire off, the jackman saw a tire coming and thought they were putting a tire on. The car dropped the jack, and they had no left rear tire on. They had to pry the car back up, pick it up, put a jack back under it, and put a tire on it. It's a wonder he didn't lose a lap.
That was, of course, after a remarkable pit stop earlier in the race by the Craven crew.
Well, in fact, he did lose a lap on that exchange, and right now he's trying his best to
get it back.
Jeff Gordon was pulled off while he was battling with these guys trying to get around them. Jeff Gordon was pulled off with a pretty good lead in front of him. I'll put my trusty stopwatch on it here and find out that it's 1 5/10 seconds.
Okay, 2.5 seconds. Now the 28 and the 5 are battling for position. Irvin and Terry Labonte for 3rd.
So the Ironman preserved his car when he had that whatever problem he had with it. And now it looks like he's back up to speed, as good as ever.
For your information, that 41 car picked up 0.15 of a second that last lap as we watch this battle here.
Here's Jeremy Mayfield, who's running in 5th spot. And the 43 of Hamilton is 6th. Both of these guys with great performances here today. Dale Jarrett is also there, but he is a lap down in 10th. There's Rusty. And now there are 8 cars between him and the leader. Earlier there were 12. There were 10.
There's a battle for position between the, I'm sorry, it's not a battle between the 43 and 88 because 43 is on the lead lap. The 88 is on the same lap as the 25. Dale Jarrett gets up to Kenny Schrader in the Bud car. That would be a battle for position. Meanwhile, there's the leader of the race, Jeff Gordon,
by himself.
The cars through 8 through 19 for 1 lap down. So there are a lot of them in that position.
Dale Earnhardt started this race in 8th position. He is currently the runner-up to Gordon. He had a bad experience here at Martinsville in this race last year. He became involved along with Terry Labonte in a crash on the 5th lap that put Labonte behind the wall immediately and resulted in a 29th place finish for Dale Earnhardt. Labonte finished last, 36th in this event last year.
The 71 car we saw up on the lift of the truck, was putting the transmission in the car. So as soon as he gets that fixed, he'll be back in the race.
Okay, so there are no cars officially out of the race. Okay. Mayfield and Hamilton continue their duel out there while Jeff Gordon sets the pace. 286 out of 500 laps have been completed in the Goody's Headache Powder 500. We'll be right back.
294 laps have gone by here at Martinsville Speedway in Martinsville, Virginia. This is the rear end of the main and tail Ford driven by Derek Cope. Obviously, severe problems here. Derek has gotten out of the car and got into his rig, and this is just part of the bad news for this team. They understand their sponsor, Straight Arrow, will be rolling back to an associate status. So in the next few weeks, they are desperately looking for a full-time major sponsor on their car. So the problems continue. These guys have worked extremely hard. I talked to Derek this morning. He was extremely optimistic about his chances here today. Now the car's on jacks. He's in the rig. Meanwhile, on the the track, Jeff Gordon continues to lead the race.
Yeah, when you talk about burning up a gear, that's a classic example.
Now here's something that's going to make some of us feel pretty old. When Terry Labonte began his Ironman streak back in 1979, Jeff Gordon, the leader of this race, was 7 years old. Mayfield was 9, Stacy Compton and Jeff Burton 11, and Ricky Craven and Bobby Labonte were just about to enter the teens. Now an AutoZone on-track interval. Labonte is catching Gordon. He's reduced the interval from 4.5 seconds to 3.9 from laps 290 to 294.
But now the problem he's got is getting by Earnhardt.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's see. He dives down it. Well, that wasn't a problem at all, was it, Ned?
No, he just drove right down there. Earnhardt gave him room and let him go.
1 lap down, still racing for position. The 18 and the 6, the 30 and the 94. All of them are battling for position here.
13th, 14th, and 15th. And we had talked about Ricky Craven gaining on Jeff Gordon. Well, that's not true anymore. Ricky, he really made a run up through there, but he might have used his brakes and his tires up a little bit making that run, and hasn't been able to gain anymore.
You see Kenny Wallace on the inside of these couple laps down. And he spun off the second corner, and they did not throw the caution flag, so that cost Kenny a lot of time in that square D Ford.
There are 199 laps to go, and that may seem like a lot, but they go by very quickly here with 22nd laps. Now Jeff Gordon has a bit of traffic ahead of him. Stacy Compton and Darrell Waltrip. See how Stacy is doing. He's 4 laps down in 28th position.
Yeah, better make that time.
Okay.
Yeah, Stacy's getting a real education today, but I tell you what, he's done a great job.
More on Stacy from Jerry.
When Stacy Compton made the field in qualifying on Friday, he called his mom and said, "Hey, Mom, I need some help. I'm a Winston Cup driver now on Sunday. I got to have some patches sewn on my uniform." So this morning, I walked in here early this morning with his mom, Ida, who went to work stitching patches on the uniform. And they said, "Hey, Mom, you and Dad want to watch the race from my pits?" She said, "No way, son. We got 2 seats in the very top of that new Bill France tower up in turn 4. Well, we're going to have one heck of a view. We'll just watch it from up there."
He was the champion of South Boston Speedway in '94, finished second in the point standings last year, making his debut in Winston Cup competition here today.
Well, Ironman seems to be getting a little closer.
Yeah, he is.
2.4 seconds. There he is. He's closed up on the back bumper of Ricky Craven.
Look at this. Team Hendrick finishing first, second in the last 3 races this year.
North Wilkesboro, Bristol, and Darlington too, huh?
Wow.
Bobby Labonte is second at Darlington.
.36 seconds now between first and second.
Never see Terry Labonte going under the Craven automobile.
Down just a little bit.
0.03 of a second.
Yeah. A great deal of position swapping going on. We'll check on some of our in-car cameras, and how about an underneath camera and the brakes from Ricky Rudd's machine.
Well, Ricky is really trying to take it easy on those brakes. You see as he goes down the corner, hits them, he'll immediately lift his foot off the brakes. Back with the 46 car of Stacy Compton. There we see Ricky Rudd.
He is running in 17th position, 1 lap down.
Speed right in front of Ricky Rudd. That is 4th position.
hasn't finished in the top 5 in a spring race here since 1986. Now, are they real hard on the brakes, Benny, or does it appear to you that he's kind of taking it kind of easy on the brakes?
I think he's taking it kind of easy on the brakes right now.
You can see it just kind of fade out there.
They hit the brakes. As soon as the car starts slowing down, when they get in the corner, he just gently lifts his foot off the brakes.
Yeah.
If you ride the brake all the way through the corner, you'll just burn them up in no time flat. You got to slow the car down and then let off the brake and let the car roll through the corner.
That car ahead of him, by the way, Lake Speed, is battle for position. Battle for 16th right now. Rudd is 17th. While Jeff Gordon continues to lead here over Terry Labonte, Dale Earnhardt, Ernie Irvan, and Jeremy Mayfield.
Stay tuned after today's race for a special edition of NASCAR Shop Talk featuring Dale Earnhardt and your first chance to get the Earnhardt Centennial Olympic Edition diecast. You can call now. The lines are already open at 1-800-258-1111.
Well, that's a pretty car that you'll be able to call in and buy when Shop Talk comes on right after our coverage of this event. Jeff Gordon is the pace setter at the moment with Terry Labonte, Earnhardt, Ernie Irvan, and Jeremy Mayfield running behind him.
Trying to go by Michael Waltrip.
5.4 seconds separate the top 5 with 2.2 between Gordon and Labonte now.
Ernie Irvan seems to be gaining a little bit on Earnhardt.
Yeah, we saw Derek Cole put the new gear in his car. Well, he stops while he's in there and fills it up with gas, and they say, okay, go ahead.
Cope is 36 laps down, now in 31st. Jeff Gordon, 3rd in the spring, 7th last fall in the 2 Martinsville races in 1995. He led both of those, and he's leading here today.
Second place car, Terry Labonte. Kellogg's Corn Flakes. Did I read where they just signed with Hendrick through the year 2000 or something?
That is correct. Hendrick Motorsports, Kellogg's, Terry Labonte, sponsorship through the year 2000.
Good.
And they'll also remain an associate sponsor on Jeff Gordon's car. Here's a Napa Field summary.
Gordon goes by, completes another lap. There goes Dale Earnhardt, our 3rd place car. I tell you what, the 28 car of Ernie Irvan is just not that far behind. There he is. Looks like he might be gaining ever so slightly on Earnhardt.
Yes, he is. And then will come Jeremy Mayfield. There he is with Rusty Wallace right on his bumper. That's 5th and 6th.
After Rusty, the next car is the 43 of Bobby Hamilton, the SDP Pontiac.
He's pretty far back behind them. He is the last car on the lead lap. 7 cars are on the lead lap now.
John Kernan is with Hut Strickland.
Well, Bob, you speculated a blown engine. Well, actually, another rear-end gear burned up for Hut Strickland.
Well, John, I don't really understand what you said. It's loud here, but, you know, it's, I don't really know what happened. You know, I think we burned up a rear-end gear or something there. It's just, you know, just one of them things. You know, I think a lot of guys having that trouble today for some reason, and I really don't understand why. But, you know, Circuit City Ford, we really felt good about it today. Got a little bit of problems in qualifying, but it just wasn't meant to be. We'll have to come back together next week to Talladega.
That's Hut Strickland. Bob, they're working to fix the rear gear, put a new gear in, getting back out there. Yeah, it is loud down here, guys.
Yeah, I can tell. It's pretty noisy. Well, you're seeing an update on the NFL draft at the bottom of your screen. That coverage, of course, over on the Deuce. But We've only got about 170 laps to go in this one.
I just saw Gardner Webb go by Gardner Webb College, one of the draftees. Woody Fish, the coach for Gardner Webb, is here at the racetrack today.
Oh, yeah?
He isn't watching the draft. He's watching the race today.
How about that?
So early this morning.
We're still on record pace. Now, the track record here, not necessarily for this event, but the track record, 79.185 held by Cale Yarborough, which was set back in 1978. And we are almost a mile and a half an hour above the track record at the moment.
That may be some of the answers as to why we're having gearing problems this afternoon, because it's the speed. I guess that they're running, these fellows are running faster than ever around this Martinsville Speedway.
And not many cautions, so that grease would have a little time to cool down.
We've only had 4 cautions for a total of 23 laps. Jeff Gordon has now led 85 circuits. Find out about Michael Waltrip. He's carrying one of our onboard cameras. The 21 is
24th, 4 laps down. Right behind the 28 of Ernie Irvin.
How about Mark Martin? He's currently 13th, just 1 lap down.
There we see out the back bumper of Mark Martin as Bobby Labonte comes up, and that's the position he's in then.
Yes, it is. Labonte is running in the 13th position and has passed Bill. Well, no, Bill Elliott passed Mark Martin. So anyway, yes, that is 4 positions.
Ted Musgrave is currently where?
In 16th position, 2 laps down. He just went 2 laps down 2 laps ago. And Ricky Rudd there in the tied Ford.
Just lost his 2nd lap, so he's 15th.
Exactly.
Started 30th. And our old buddy Stacy Compton is down in 28th position, 5 laps down after a 9th place start.
But he's no danger of losing that 28th position, because the next car behind him was Hutch Strickland, and he's in the pits, and he's right now 21 laps down. So Stacy's in good shape there.
Here's 6th place Rusty Wallace.
Look at Derek Cope with that new gear and new tires, just blow by Rusty Wallace.
And we understand that the 1 car is also possibly experiencing rear-end problems.
Well, there is an unusual amount. We've talked about it for years and years here at Martinsville, that you have a lot of gear problems, but Benny, the technology had improved over the years as far as cooling was concerned, and better metal and better grease and all of that, and we hadn't had that much of a problem, but hey, it's happening here today.
Well, what's overheating is exactly in the center of the picture we're seeing right now. The round thing we see is the pulley for the pump that pumps the fluid from the gear up into a radiator to cool it off, and the gear sits behind that. It's the hogshead or the third member, that whole unit that goes in the back. But Ned, I think the problem is right now is horsepower.
Yeah.
I mean, they've just got more horsepower, and these guys nail the gasoline. They've got 725, 740 horsepower just trying to drive that gear apart, just try to drive it apart and break the teeth off and everything else. Builds up a tremendous amount of heat. That's hence the coolers for the radiators to try to cool the fluid, but evidently it's just not enough for the horsepower the cars have today.
Well, how about the brakes? This is Ricky Rudd. Still glowing pretty good.
Yeah, but not as red as it could be if he was really standing on them.
Yeah, if he was in the lead lap, those brakes would be redder than that. But right now, he says, hey, I'm a couple laps down. I need to finish this race as best I can. And that's exactly good. Watching the gears, you can tell. Watching the brakes, you can tell how easy he's going.
Hey, there's the crush panels that you told us about a couple of weeks ago, BP.
Yeah, let's see. You got a track fact about that. And those crush panels, that piece of aluminum with the lines to them, a roller does that. That's to keep the fumes from around the racetrack from coming up in the car with the driver, the heat and the fumes. corner.
Here's the battle for 14th position. Mark Martin and Lake Speed. Lake is having a good run here today.
He is having a good run. Mark Martin a moment ago about spun out down in 1 and 2.
Dale Jarrett just had a problem coming off of turn 4. Has slowed dramatically here on the front straightaway.
The points leader is very, very slow. You're right, Ned. And the right front brake, it looks like the brake problem on the right front.
He had caught Ricky Craven, was running 9th, and Craven running in 8th place. Maybe he tried a little too hard to catch him.
Wow, look at the camera in that right front wheel. We can see that the outside edge not even touching the racetrack.
Last year here at Martinsville, Dale had a 7th and a 10th.
I'm going to guess that the gear might have come out as he came off of that turn because he's coasting. He doesn't have power to get back here.
I saw some smoke, but you're right. That may be what it is.
Well, sounds like it's no brakes. Yeah, the crew comes out to try to get that car stopped, and they do. Well, if there goes the
war wagon.
Yep. If points were awarded right now, Dale Earnhardt would have the NASCAR Winston Cup points lead by 57, but there is a long way to go. As a matter of fact, Jared would fall to 3rd. And Terry Labonte is closing in on our leader, Jeff Gordon. So stay with us. We'll be right back for more action. It's the Goody's Headache Powder 500 live from Martinsville Speedway in Virginia as Jeff Gordon, car 24, the leader of the race, as he tries to put another lap on 13th place, Mark Martin. And right behind Jeff is Terry Labonte, 2nd place.
He has gradually moved up and caught him.
And Mark trying his best to keep him going a lap down. But finally Jeff gets by, and there goes Labonte. Laps to go here at Martinsville.
By the way, Dave Marcus is back in the race.
But another fellow who... And I'm telling you, the points leader, Ned, I know you don't say if he had a problem, Bill Weber's down there.
Well, guys, it is brakes. They're working on the right front. As you can see, the right front caliper and the brakes. They've checked the others, but this is their problem. They've got fans in there to try and cool things off, but Dale Jarrett had to be basically stopped by his crew. They've got new pieces laying right here that they're going to try and attach, but it's extremely warm in there, and this will take a little while. So Dale Jarrett's out of brakes, and another car reporting brake problems is the 46, so he may be out of brakes as well. You can see they also work on the left front down here. So Dale Jarrett getting front brakes, sitting behind the wall, watching his points lead dwindle away. Lap 359 here at Martinsville. They'll try and get him back out, obviously. This is going to take a little while.
140 laps to go, but if points were awarded right now, Earnhardt would move up 1 and take the points lead. Labonte would move up 1 to 2nd. Gordon would move up 3 to 3rd. Jarrett down 3 to 4th, and Ricky Craven would lose a position down to 5th. And then 6 through 10 would be Ricky Rudd down 1, Marlin the same, Elliott up 1, Rusty up 3, and Musgrave down 2 in 10th. We have a very competitive Winston Cup season on our hands here, and the 46 of Stacy Compton has rolled into the pit area, and he shut it down. Meanwhile, on the racetrack, it's about a 1 or 2 car length separation. Now less than 1, Gordon and Labonte.
Bill Elliott, McDonald's Ford, is 11th spot. He's 1 lap down, trying his best to keep from going 2 down to Jeff Gordon.
Right in front of them is Sterling Marlin. He's 1 lap down. He's in 10th position.
He and Bill Elliott are racing for position.
Hutch Strickland's back in the race.
Still no cars officially listed as out. four are on the same lap, battling for position. Another AutoZone on-track interval. 4.9 seconds separated Jeff Gordon from third place Dale Earnhardt on the 358th lap. And by 362, Dale had reduced that number to 3.5 as now Earnhardt moves to the inside of Ricky Rudd.
Bernie Irvin has lost a few car lengths to Dale Earnhardt, but only a few.
Yeah, at one time he had gained on him and got up within about 10 car lengths, but now dropped back a few. Still hanging in there in fourth place.
There we see Jeff Gordon able to get by Bill Elliott. Labonte comes along as well. Now they'll have to go up and start working on Sterling Marlin.
3.2.
So I'm sorry, Bobby. They're pushing Stacy Compton's car behind the wall. Oh, that's the first stretch.
Well, if he is out of the race, he sure put on a good show and has nothing to be ashamed of. And as you guys have indicated, went to school here at Martinsville today.
Got some good experience. And did something that thousands and thousands of race drivers would like to do, is to qualify for a NASCAR Winston Cup race.
Got that right. Now Gordon looking to put another lap on the 10th place car of Sterling Marlin. There is Earnhardt, third place. We have a report that there's some debris in turn number 4. Don't know yet whether it's enough to bring out a caution. No caution is showing at the moment.
Labonte going to try to look on the outside. There's the brake duct that's laying on the racetrack up by 3 and 4.
Looks like it's just as they come out of the corner and is not in the groove.
But meanwhile, Labonte's on the inside. There was some contact between Nemechek and Sterling Marlin right in front of the leaders. Well, Labonte, Gordon now dives back to the inside. This is helping Dale Earnhardt catch up with these guys.
And Ernie Irvin. And Mayfield.
And let's give a call to Jeremy Mayfield. He is driven away from Rusty Wallace.
Rusty, after he had that miscue in the pits, I don't know if it's a set of tires he has on as Ken Schrader comes down pit road in the Budweiser Chevrolet, but Rusty's car is definitely not being what it was before. Let's go to the pits and cover Ken Schrader's stop.
Well, Schrader's struggling a little bit now. They've gone around to the right side to change the right side tires. This team looking for a little bit of good luck. Hoping they were going to find it here today, but it's not. Around to the left side now to put on these Goodyear tires. This team has basically changed their pit crew once again, trying to make sure it works out well, finding out who's got the best. 25 returns to the track. Now to Jerry Punch, who's with one of the heroes from qualifying.
Stacy Compton sitting in his car, and Stacy, this has to be a special day to remember for you, even though you're not maybe not be able to finish. What's wrong with the car?
Well, I think it was a little rookie mistake. You know, we had a good car. We had a good car early. Driver got to use a little bit too much braking. We burnt the brakes up. You know, we got good pedal. Just can't get the car to stop. We go down to the corner and it takes off. But you know, we'll be back. You know, we had a pretty good race. I mean, we got anything. You know, we wanted to finish. We got some seat time, but you know, we got this Chevrolet up front. You know, innovative machines, independent cable. It's awful good of them to come on the car. We'll come back. We'll get them. We'll get them next time we're back here.
Yeah, he's a great race driver, but you can tell he's a rookie. He had trouble remembering his sponsor during the interview, but he got it in there. Stacy Compton, 28 years of age, his first start today, guys.
Hometown hero here in the Lynchburg, Virginia area. Has had quite a weekend. Let's look at the separation now between first and third, down to 2.2 seconds.
Yeah, they still haven't been able to get around Sterling Marlin. Now they will. Sterling gets loose coming off of turn 4 as Earnhardt moves on the inside of Bill Elliott.
Oh, a little bit of contact there between the 4 and the 25 as we watch Earnhardt go to the inside of Bill Elliott.
Yep. Jeff Gordon, as he was lapping Marlin, got down to turn 1. He dove for the inside for the groove, but unfortunately the right front fender of Sterling Marlin's was there, and he touched Gordon in the left rear.
But it's now less than 2 seconds separation between the first and third place cars of Jeff Gordon and Dale Earnhardt. We'll be right back. Back at Martinsville Speedway, the Goody's Headache Powder 500. New leader Terry Labonte has just passed Jeff Gordon to take over the lead.
Man, oh man, the Iron Man.
How about that? Going for 2 in a row. Well, Rusty Wallace has already made a pit stop, and now Jeremy Mayfield running in the top 10, 6 to be exact, comes in for his pit stop. Is this the last if we go green all the way?
They should be able to go the rest of the way. They got about 118 laps to go.
Rusty Wallace got to run 100 laps. Here's how Terry Labonte took the lead down in turn 3. Dives on the inside of Gordon. Jeff tried to contest him through that corner, but he could not get the bite off the corner like Labonte did, and there's the lead. Rusty Wallace ran 100 laps. There we see Jeremy Mayfield after the pit stop comes back out right in front of the 5 car. And the spin that Bill Elliott spun, no caution yet.
But Bill probably will come down pit road. He wants a caution, but he's not going to get it yet.
Nope.
Well, he's not coming down pit road.
Well, Rusty Wallace and Jeremy Mayfield was yet screaming, nope, no caution. Oh, and Bill goes in the corner. Maybe 3 abreast in the corner, but everything is okay. They all made it. Dale Jarrett going down pit road to go back on the racetrack. And Terry Labonte is just driving away from Jeff Gordon. Let's watch the replay and see what happened to Elliott. Well, he gets the car loose, and when he backs off to catch the back end, Jeff Bodine comes along and touches him in the back bumper.
Jerry Punch covering Ricky Craven's pit stop.
A great pit stop, 17, 18, 19 and a half seconds for Ricky. 4 tires and fuel. That should be his last stop. Let's go back to John Curtin in front of Bobby Hamilton.
Bobby Hamilton pulls the number 43 SGP Pontiac into his pits. It's a 4-tire change. Looks like they will make a chassis adjustment. No, actually, they're going to go to the track bar, make a track bar. Let's go to the Labonte pit and Bill Weber.
Terry Labonte looking to make it 2 wins in a row. Qualified 7th here. Right side, front tire on, working on the right rear. Now they swing around to the left side, putting in enough fuel to get Terry to the end. Work 386 is the lap count. Waiting now on the left rear. Now Terry's away. I got it at 21.49. And Gordon is in, and Punch is there.
Final pit stop for Jeff Gordon, defending Winston Cup champion. Right side tires. And apparently, well, they're going to take right sides only, but now they're going to go ahead and put all 4 on every come to the left side of the car. They clean the windshield. The front grill has been pushed in on the DuPont Chevrolet as left side tires going on. Here is Earnhardt coming down pit road. Bill Weber is there.
And Dale Earnhardt is here for his final stop. He'll get 4 tires, then takes a drink. They fuel the car, working on the right side. Now they come around to the left, bring the jack around, clean the windshield. Lap 389 on the board. Earnhardt had stalled the car, but now gets it refired. Tightening the lug nuts. Left front, left rear, Earnhardt's away. At 20 flat. 28 car heading down pit road. John Kernan waits.
Ernie Irvin will pull in. It'll be a 4-tire change. His last scheduled stop. 110 laps from the end of the race. No chassis adjustment, no air pressure adjustment. Larry McReynolds told me it takes about 15 laps before the car really starts to run well. Left side tires going on. Waiting so far. Flawless pit stop. Let those tight dirties down to the way.
Coming back out onto the racetrack after his pit stop. By the way, the 33 car of Robert Presley is back behind the wall.
There we see, here comes Earnhardt. Is Ernie Irvin going to stay in front of him? Yes, he is.
And Bill has more on Dale Earnhardt.
Yeah, I thought he shut the car off, but I checked. They say Earnhardt was out of gas when he pitted. So out of gas. Now the 3. The door with a 28 as they come down the front stretch. So a close call for the 3 bunch. Earnhardt by the 28. Dale Earnhardt got his fuel as well as his tires. Now back in the race.
I think Ernie just a couple of laps to get the air pressure built up in those tires and get the tires seated in a little bit.
Now here's a battle for the lead. Once again, Labonte tried to do it this time on the outside of Jeff Gordon.
Boy, Jeff Gordon made a great pit stop.
And Labonte did not have an exceptionally good pit stop, but here he is on the back bumper of Jeff Gordon battling for the lead.
You talk about Ironman. Remember when Cal Ripken broke the record for most consecutive starts? He hit a home run.
Yeah.
Well, Labonte won last week in tying the record. Could he hit a home run and drive away to victory here in his record-breaking win? He might, but he has his teammate Jeff Gordon to contend with here in the last 106 laps of this event. Stay with us. ESPN Speed World Live coverage of the Goody's Headache Powder 500 from Martinsville is being brought to you by Western Auto. Western Auto and Western Auto Parts America are the official auto parts store of NASCAR. By Pontiac, proud sponsor of the 1996 U.S. Olympic team. And by Valvoline Durablend, the #1 selling semi-synthetic motor oil. Well, we now have 100 laps to go at Martinsville. It's Jeff Gordon, Terry Labonte, and the third member of Team Hendrick right in the middle of things here with Ken Schrader, although Ken is a lap down in ninth.
And Schrader just lost a spot to Ricky Craven in the 41 car.
So now Schrader goes 2 laps down. Ricky Craven is in a lap by himself at the moment. He's the only driver that is 1 lap down, but the leader is bearing down on him.
They're lined up in a row, 3 Team Hendrick cars. Rick Hendrick's first victory was here at Martinsville. You remember who gave him that?
Jeff Bodine, I guess.
Very good.
Okay. So Jeff was his first driver when he came in.
Yeah, looks like Terry looking to the inside there, going into 1. Here's a Napa Field summary. Look for your favorite driver and see where he's running at the moment. And Labonte goes back into the lead.
Man, oh man. Well, I tell you what, has Terry Labonte and Gary Dehart been doing the job in 1996? Wow.
They sure have. Last week, Terry had the highest payday in his Winston Cup career, winning $229,000, which put him over the $11 million mark in career earnings. Of course, that check last week was helped substantially by the Unocal bonus money that he won. But what a great year he is having.
And when Labonte gets in front, he just simply pulls away from.
There's Rick Hendrick, and boy, he's a very happy car owner right now. He's got 1st, 2nd, and 9th.
Man.
And now Ricky Craven goes 2 laps down in 8th position. Bill Elliott about to go 3 laps down in 16th. We're still on record pace as far as speed is concerned here at Martinsville. It's been a fast race. Here's Jeremy Mayfield, the 5th place car, and Bill has more on this great run.
Well, Jeremy Mayfield's having a great day. His car owner, Cale Yarborough, is sitting above the war wagon with a big smile on his face the last few laps. And last time Jeremy went by, I looked real close, and he's got a big smile, too. He finished 16th here last spring and 16th here last fall. He qualified 16th for this race, but he's running 5th. He said this is the same car they've run well with at Loudon, and they really think their short track program and their short track motors are really coming together. Now, Tony Furr put a very low gear in this car to help Jeremy save his brakes. Jeremy Mayfield is sitting in that car, but I'm telling you, crew chief Tony Furr is helping him drive it. And not only are they looking at a solid finish right now here at Martinsville, they were lightning quick in testing at Talladega, and that's where we're going next.
He's on pace with his best career finish, which was turned in earlier this year at Atlanta when he finished in 5th spot.
Well, while that report was being given, the fans jumped up. Terry Labonte was passing Bill Elliott on the outside coming off the turn 4. He got his right wheels up in the loose step, as they call it. He almost bought the farm, as we say.
Here's Jerry.
Ray Evernham is out on pit road complaining to the NASCAR official, as was Charlie Preston, that there is oil on the racetrack. Jeff Gordon is radioed and said, mine is slipping and sliding everywhere. I think Terry Labonte is also radioed in, and apparently they are going to put the caution out because of a number of drivers complaining of oil on the racetrack.
I bet you that Terry Labonte was not complaining about it.
He did get very high twice. I think he got higher than maybe this is the first time when he went up there. I thought he was on the outside of Bill Elliott. No, this is the last time coming around. You see how the car just slips up the racetrack?
Yeah.
He was higher than that the last time, the one I was talking about. He was all the way up there in that black part of the racetrack.
Well, the 90 car went in the pits just a lap or so, smoking badly, so maybe that was it.
Here's Bill Weber in Terry Labonte's pit.
The 5, 24, the 3, all on pit road. Right side's on for Terry Labonte. They swing around to the left side. They'll put on tires there, down to Jerry Punch.
No air pressure, no conditioning adjustment whatsoever. Left side tires already going on the car. Right sides have gone on as they are almost here to Terry Labonte down pit road. Jeff Gordon is second and Earnhardt is third. Let's check in the back pits with
left side tires going on Ernie Irvin's car. The 4-tire change, no chassis adjustment. There goes Terry Labonte, Jeff Gordon, Dale Earnhardt. But there goes Ernie headed down pit road. He'll fall in line in the 4th position.
Yeah, he's going to beat Rusty Wallace out. But I think the 24 car got across that line down there first.
It was
There's
close.
Another advantage of being in that first pit down there. Of course, the NASCAR officials will figure it out. That was just my opinion as I looked at it, but we'll see.
Yeah, there's been a lot of talk about that recently. How should the defending Winston Cup champion have the right to have that first pit stall? Because look what happens when the car comes down on the jack. He is immediately there at the line, and that is about as close as you can get.
Man, that is about as close as you can get, isn't it?
NASCAR will have to call that one. Who got out first? Was it Labonte or Jeff Gordon? They'll make that decision, and while they do, we'll take a break and be back with more from Martinsville, Virginia. Back at Martinsville, Virginia Speedway, a huge crowd as always on hand here at this half-mile racetrack, and they have built these stands up in recent years. There's the one over in turns 3 and 4. That's a brand new 7,000-seat grandstand that just went up here.
So this will be a record crowd because they did not have those 7,000 seats last race.
Yep. And they always come to a very well-prepared and immaculate Martinsville Speedway. It's always fun to come here in the state of Virginia, the Commonwealth of Virginia. We'll take another break and be right back. At Martinsville, and as we look back on the field from the Pontiac pace car, you can see how NASCAR has determined the lineup. It's Jeff Gordon in front of Terry Labonte, and the third Hendrick car is on the right. That's Ken Schrader, and he's 2 laps down in 8th.
And by the way, hello once again to Elmo Langner, the pace car driver, not here this weekend. That's Marlon Wright. Also, Buster Alton not here this weekend. And Billy Engel, his wife Pat, had some surgery on Friday. He did not make the trip up here this weekend. So all you folks get well.
Really. Green flag is out. Back to racing at Martinsville. We've had 15 lead changes so far today, and the race record is 18, set back in 1979.
Bobby Hamilton has a problem in the STP Pontiac. Car just didn't take off real good for him. Almost all the field has passed him by. He's running in 7th place, 1 lap down. He had just gone a lap down right before that caution was thrown.
Now we're looking at the 98 car of Jeremy Mayfield. He's our 6th place car.
Coming out of turn 2, Benny, he got a little bit loose, a little sideways. Lap ago.
Terry Labonte coming off turn 2 that time, looked underneath the 24 car of Gordon, and he's looking under it again. I think Jeff Gordon's trying to stay off the bottom of the racetrack. Evidently, he still feels there's some oil or something down there. He's running a very strange groove. Almost made contact, did Labonte. Spotter for Jeff Gordon said, look, there's some oil down there. Be careful on the bottom because he's running higher than he normally does.
Fourth and fifth here, Ernie Irvin and Rusty Wallace.
Rusty didn't seem to have any problem on the bottom, did he?
Labonte still trying to get inside of Terry Labonte. Jeff has led 159 laps. Rusty led 150 earlier, so right now Gordon has led the most.
Now, if Dale Earnhardt can come up here and win this race, he'd pick up, what, $60,000, I believe it is, bonus from Winston.
That's right.
As a result, he would be the points leader. And 10,000 a race added on to it. It hasn't been won since he won it at Rockingham the second race of the year.
Labonte is right there.
He sure is.
He dives down to the inside.
Johnny Benson comes on Pontiac. The rookie contender is on pit road with the hood up, out of brakes, we understand.
Look at Earnhardt close in.
He sure is. Now Gordon has moved back down to the preferred line here at Martinsville Speedway, right up against the curbing on the inside of the racetrack.
There are 3 Chevrolets battling for it up front, and there are 3 Fords battling for 4th, 5th, and 6th just behind them.
And by the way, we haven't mentioned this on our broadcast, although Dave Despain mentioned it on NASCAR Today on the Deuce earlier. NASCAR did announce a modification today, good on all tracks a mile or longer, except Daytona, Talladega, and the road courses. A reduction of an additional ½ inch in the rear portion roof line on the Thunderbirds.
So what that means is that the Thunderbird, the front of the roof will stay intact. Behind the windshield, that will stay there. They'll cut the B post, the C post, and just drop the back of the roof down 1/2 inch. They'll do that by checking the ½ inch on the spoiler, on the template they use across the center of the car, and they'll allow them 1/2 inch where the rear window meets the roof.
That goes into effect to Charlotte,
yes.
Winston Select.
Yep, on May 17th and 18th.
There's those 3 Fords that are battling for 4th, 5th, and 6th. Ernie Irvin, Rusty Wallace, and Jeremy Mayfield. Johnny Benson goes back out on the track.
Irvin has visited victory lane here at Martinsville. He won the fall race in 1993. Rusty Wallace, a former winner here, and of course Jeremy is looking for his first Winston Cup race. Now, aerodynamically, that 98 car is not too pretty.
About like a shoebox. He hit someone early on in the race. Must not have run, what, 10, 15 laps?
Oh, yeah.
Nailed somebody.
Yeah, that was real early in the race.
I think the 12 car is who he hit, Derek Cope.
But he has given Nipper quite a ride this afternoon.
Well, Terry Labonte is having trouble right now because Dale Earnhardt is about to pass him, and Jeff Gordon is driven away from him.
Yeah, Gordon has really opened up an advantage, and there goes Earnhardt picking up 2nd place. Now Ernie Irvin is looking for 3rd. Obviously, something has gone amiss on the Labonte car.
This happened earlier on in the race. Labonte did the same thing. There goes Jeremy Mayfield by, although I don't think he was just slow earlier part of the race.
Boy, he drops back to the last car on the lead lap to 6th position. So maybe not a home run in the record-setting Ironman race. But the Hendrick team still has the top dog at the moment. There he is, Jeff Gordon. He's got quite an interval now between himself and Dale Earnhardt as the laps wind down with less than 63 to go.
1.8 seconds.
Here is a position attempt by Bobby Labonte.
9th and 10th.
They're both 2 laps down, Labonte and Craven.
All those cars, Schrader, Bobby Labonte, and Ricky Craven, all 2 laps down, all battling for position. We're told that it's brakes is the problem on the Kellogg's Chevrolet.
Well, you can have an iron man, but you can't have iron brakes. And that has caused Labonte to drop back to 6th spot.
Look at Ernie Irvin close up on the back bumper of Dale Earnhardt.
Ernie is above his best for the year. His best finish so far has been a 4th at Atlanta, and right now he's 3rd and knocking on 2nd place's door. .59 laps to go here at Martinsville. It's still Jeff Gordon up front with Earnhardt, Ernie Irvin, Rusty Wallace, and Jeremy Mayfield, the top 5. We're under caution because of debris on the racetrack. Most of those in the lead lap have come in, but Ernie Irvin and Dale Earnhardt didn't. Mark Martin came in and appeared to have no brakes. Terry Labonte just now going out of the pits. And we'll see how they came in now.
We see Earnhardt stays on the racetrack, and Ernie Irvin is pitting on the backstretch. Is he going to pit? We'll tell you in just a minute. Here, all the cars on the lead lap come in. And Terry Labonte, they will raise the hood on his car and try to repair the fixed problem.
Jerry is in Mark Martin's pit.
Apparently what we're hearing is that the piston has popped out of the right front caliper. They're just going to try to cap it and get Mark out for the final lap. What, 56 laps remaining here at Martinsville. What a tough break for the Valvoline Ford driver. He sits on pit road. They have the car jacked up, the right front tire off, and as yet it's still too hot to work on it. They have a fireman to come across and be able to stand by in case there is a brake fluid fire while they try to cap that piston in the caliper.
So while we're under caution, we'll take another break here at Martinsville. 445 laps are completed. Back with more action in just a moment. They have just gone green here once again, and Terry Labonte's car is still on pit road. As the field gathers momentum down the backstretch, it's Earnhardt, Irvin, and Jeff Gordon.
So you folks can see that Ernie Irvin did not pit. Earnhardt and Irvin have about 20 laps on these tires since the last pit stop. There we see Rusty Wallace dive on the inside of Schrader. So there we are, the first 4 cars. Earnhardt, Ernie Irvin, Jeff Gordon, and Rusty Wallace.
The question is, will those tires stand up for Earnhardt and Irvin?
Now, if this had been last week in Horse Wilkes-Barre, they wouldn't have stayed out there. They would have come in and got tires. But this track is not as hard on tires, and here comes Gordon down on the inside of Irvin.
Trying to get 2nd position from Ernie. They go down the backstretch side by side. Jerry, why didn't Earnhardt pit?
David Smith said they only had 20 laps on the tires, and here track position is so critical. And as Ned said a moment ago, tires don't give up that much. So with 20-lap tires, Earnhardt's going to try to hang on so they can maybe steal one these last 50 laps.
Gordon has moved to 2nd. Here comes Rusty to the inside of Ernie for 3rd into turn 4. And here's John Kernan with an explanation of why Ernie didn't come in.
Well, Larry McReynolds said, hey, we only had 20 laps on those tires. Let's roll the dice. The car hadn't been running well up until you got about 40 or 50 laps on the set of tires. So they decided to stay out there, take their chances. And right now, Ernie is dropped from 2nd back to 4th.
Jeff Gordon now putting a tremendous amount of heat on Dale Earnhardt, and he's going to get the lead, it would appear, in turn 1. Yes, Gordon goes to the front.
Now I bet there's some wishing that we'd have put some tires on. But, you know, you take those gambles.
Rusty takes 2nd.
Now, Jeremy Mayfield also made a pit stop. So, he's coming right up on him.
They're showing Jeremy a lap down. I don't understand that, but...
I don't either. Terry Labonte is back out running slow on the racetrack.
He's using the inside.
Now they've corrected that, Benny. He's not a lap down before. I didn't see how that was possible either.
Yeah, here comes Ernie Irvin. He's going to try to dive on the inside of Earnhardt. And he does it. And Labonte going back in the pits or coming out of the pits or something.
I think he's just running that inside lane. He doesn't have any brakes, and he's just running that. Well, it's coming back in now.
You just mentioned that, Benny.
I have not been in sync all day, Bob. I'm sorry. Well, from the very first get-go, meanwhile, Jeremy said, come on, guys, go on. How we ever get to the front if you don't go on?
Yeah, because those front two cars, Gordon and Wallace, are running away from these guys while they battle back here.
Oh, some contact between the 3 and 98.
But Mayfield gets the spot. He's up to 4th.
So far. And he does have it. Well, I spoke too soon. I misspoke again.
Now he does have it.
Looks like Nipper past Chipper. Oh, we got some trouble. Oh, Jeff Bodine. Still no caution if he can just put in first gear. Here comes the leaders. And Bodine pulls away. There will be no caution.
There's a few guys that would like to have seen a caution right then. Namely, Earnhardt at least.
Yes.
Because he would have nothing to lose to come into the pits now and put tires on his car. Here's Wallace trying to go for the lead as we watch what happened up there.
Sure.
And there you see the 16 car of Musgrave gets in the back of the 7 car. Rusty Wallace didn't make that pass, folks, while we watch that.
That's how Jeff Bodine spun around, but it did not result in a caution. Meanwhile, the battle is going on hot and heavy. Jeff Gordon at the moment leading Rusty Wallace. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the last 35 laps of the Goody's Headache Powder 500 from Martinsville Speedway in Virginia. There is the leader, Jeff Gordon, car 24. Second place, Rusty Wallace in car 2. If points were awarded right now, Earnhardt would move up 1 position to the points lead. Gordon would gain 4 positions.
Wow.
Dale Jarrett down 2, and Craven and Rudd would stay the same. But Jeff Gordon would be 66 points out of the points lead. And look at the increase that Rusty would make. 5 positions up to number 7.
Well, Rusty Wallace is, Jeff Gordon is driving away. Just a couple of car lengths. Well, I take that back.
Here's Bill Weber with more on Rusty Wallace.
Well, if he can catch Gordon, it'll be quite a comeback for these guys. They were really wrecked after that bad pit stop they had midway through this race. And they actually the last 24 hours have been that good for them. Going home last night, Robin Pemberton and a couple of other of these 2 guys were involved in a pretty vicious automobile accident. No one was injured, but it was a very frightening moment. So they had a tough evening, had a good start, then had trouble in the middle of the day, and now they're hoping for a remarkable finish at a track that has been very, very good to Rusty Wallace. Down pit road is Dr. Jerry Vines.
And remember, this run for Rusty Wallace actually started last Sunday night when this car was crunched with 26 laps to go at North Wilkesboro. They called the race shop, they called the guys at home and said, meet us at the race shop at 7 o'clock Sunday night. They took that crumpled car back to Penske's House Racing. The crew that assembled the car Sunday night. Monday morning it was on the surface plate. Tuesday morning it was in the fab shop. Wednesday morning it was in the body shop. And Thursday afternoon it was loaded to bring to Martinsville. So you got to give Gary Brooks and the Penske's House crew quite a hand. They worked around the clock to get Ronnie back together and bring it to Martinsville.
Nobody has won a spring race here at Martinsville besides Rusty Wallace since 1992. He has won in 93, 94, 95. He's second and looking for the lead from Jeff Gordon. He's challenging once again.
Oh, he hit the curb that time and See what it cost him? Just that little bit of a slip cost him at least 3 car lengths.
Jeff Gordon has just clinched the 5 bonus points for leading the most laps. And here's another battle, 2 laps down for 7th position, Bobby Labonte in car number 18 and Ken Schrader in 25.
Well, John Wilson, the engine builder on the 18 car, told me this morning they were not running very good, but he said we must surprise ourselves. I think if they go home with an 8th place, they would be pleasantly surprised.
Yep, he's battling for 7th. So.
That would be even better. He'd be more surprised at that, wouldn't he?
There's another battle going on. That's Sterling Marlin, Ted Musgrave, and Lake Speed. That would be 11th, 12th, and 13th.
They're also 2 laps down, same as Bobby Labonte and Ken Schrader.
Saw Bill Elliott drive into that picture just a moment ago. He is 3 laps down. The first car, 3 laps down.
Yeah, Bill got spun out up there. That cost him that extra lap.
Oh, 10 car Ricky Rudd slowed down, and there we see Jeff Gordon and Rusty Wallace. There we see the 10 car as Mark Martin just blows by him.
He was running 10th, Rudd was, but now begins to lose spots as the car is very slow.
Jimmy Spencer
spins.
Oh, yeah. Okay, no caution yet. He's down on the inside of the racetrack. Let's see if he gets going. They're watching it.
Yep.
Yeah, he gets going. Earnhardt missed another chance there. He said, man, I need the caution. he continues to drop back. Earnhardt does.
Earnhardt is 5th, but the 6th place car is a lap down.
The leaders are in heavy traffic.
Wow. Here's Gordon moving to the inside of Joe Nemechek along with Rusty. Up ahead is the 99 of Jeff Burton.
I think the biggest problem that Rusty Wallace has right now, he and the 24 car, it looks like their cars work in exactly the same tracks. You see Rusty, when he gets out of that groove on the bottom of the racetrack, he loses a car length. When Jeff Gordon moves up the racetrack, he will lose distance to Rusty Wallace. They both got to be right there, and that's going to make it awfully difficult for Rusty Wallace to pass.
Everybody is standing here at Martinsville for the last 20 laps of this race. When they come down, they'll complete lap 480. Gordon now with a couple of car length advantage on Rusty. Western Auto Mechanic of the Race award goes to Larry McReynolds from Ernie Irvin's team. Congratulations to Larry. There is Ernie, who's running in 3rd spot and having a great day.
Started 34th, didn't you say, Ned? He started 34th?
Yep, started on a provisional.
Yep.
And 34th position.
You see the leaders once again. You know, there's a muffler coming, the AP exhaust, that has an award for the most positions gained. Ernie Irvin will win that today, hands down.
Yeah, he's pretty much cinched that one.
I think he won it at Atlanta, too. He started back in about 36 or something. He finished 4th down there.
Yeah. Again, this will be Ernie's best finish in 3rd if he does hang on to that spot this year.
Looks like Gordon right now. Seems as though he's put a car length on Rusty.
Jeff Gordon's best finish here came in this race last year. He finished 3rd. He's never won. Rusty has visited victory lane 5 times before, 3 in this race, 2 in the fall event.
Ricky Rudd once again very, very slow. I guess he's out of brakes. Oh, Rusty's not too far behind right now.
And Jerry Punch has a report.
We told you how Rusty's crew had come back from last week. Well, Jeff Gordon's crew had this same race car here at Martinsville the week after Bristol, and the rear brakes locked up, and they just went almost head on into turn 3, destroyed the front of the car. It had to be rebuilt prior to taking it to Wilkesboro, where it finished 2nd, and it's made a pretty good comeback from a crash 3 weeks ago here at Martinsville.
There's Robin Pemberton watching his driver Rusty Wallace try to chase down and pass Jeff Gordon.
There's some traffic that Rusty may be able to utilize to get by Jeff Gordon. That will be the 12 car.
Guys, I believe Ernie Irvin is gaining on these guys now. He's still about 2.5 seconds behind, but he has moved in closer than he was.
But the laps are running out. 12 to go now as they cross the line. John Kernan has more on Ernie Irvin.
As we see with Ernie Irvin, the car really picks up after they've got about 60 laps. But you got to give Larry McReynolds and his crew a really good call, because today, this morning, they were the last car through technical inspection. There goes Rusty Wallace as he makes a bid for the lead against Jeff Gordon. These guys changed everything but the motor.
And Rusty Wallace now has the lead, just 11 laps to go. Man, oh man.
It was a nice move going down the backstretch and into turn number 3. He got the position on the inside and made a nice clean pass on Jeff Gordon to put Rusty Wallace up front with now 10 laps to go.
Just trying to lay back and cool something down, or cool his brakes down, cool the engine down. He would fall back a couple of car lengths, but right now he is definitely driving away. John Kernan, go ahead and finish your comment.
Before we so rudely interrupted.
Yes.
I knew something was going on because everybody jumped up back here. No, what they told me this morning, in a nutshell, they changed everything on that car but the engine and the driver. So they made the right choices this morning.
Rusty is putting some distance between himself and Jeff Gordon, positioning cars between him, and with just 8 laps to go, 7.5 laps to go, it appears that Rusty Wallace is going to pick up another win here at Martinsville.
And Ernie Irvin is definitely gaining on Jeff Gordon.
He sure is.
He has closed that down from 2.5 seconds to a little over 1 second.
And it's 7 laps to go. Does Ernie have time to catch Jeff Gordon? There we see Jeff Gordon and Ernie Irvin. Rusty Wallace just continues to pull away from Gordon.
Under a second. He is really coming in on Gordon.
There he is. He's right there. And Kenny Wallace between the two. And Kenny Wallace just goes over and lets Ernie go. Can he catch him? He's got 5 laps. A lot of time.
I believe he can.
Yeah, he has caught him. He's only a car length and a half.
Yep. Larry McReynolds and the crew cheer on Ernie Irvin.
They all stand up on the wall.
Brooke Gordon cheers for her husband. Now let's see how Ernie handles this off the corner onto the backstretch.
He got a run and he's going to pass.
Yes, he does it. Ernie Irvin goes to
they get together.
Gets a little bump from Jeff Gordon.
I started to say that bump might be enough for Jeremy Mayfield to catch the 24 car of Jeff Gordon, but I doubt it with only 2.5 laps to go.
Nevertheless, the Texaco Haviland crew is very happy. You think he had just taken the lead instead of second position. But Ernie Irvin is through to his best performance of 1996. There is the leader, however, Rusty Wallace, who has not won a NASCAR Winston Cup race in the last 15 events. His last win was at Richmond last fall. The white flag comes out for Rusty Wallace.
Oh, the 41 car spins. Ricky Craven. Here comes Rusty.
No caution.
And Ricky gets the car going again.
Does a nice 360. Keeps going. We're on the final lap. Rusty Wallace is just behind Ricky Craven. Here comes Rusty off of corner number 4. And Rusty Wallace wins his first event of 1996. His 43rd career win and his 19th short track event. And here's Bill Weber with Randy Pemberton.
Well, Robin, he's talking to his driver. Congratulations. I was waiting for something to fall out of the sky and hit you, but it didn't happen.
I didn't even hear you. The pit crew, you know, we had a little problem early on, but they've done a great job as usual. That son of a gun right there can work on a race car. I'm telling you, he's great.
I said I was waiting for something to fall out of the sky and hit you, like you said last week.
Oh, yeah, like I had a truck run in front of me yesterday on the way home, and something fell out of the sky last week. This is really good. What a way to go. Ty and the King, too, man. Two of my best guys.
Robin Pemberton and Rusty Wallace and the Miller boys going to victory lane.
And Ford wins its second race of 1996 after 6 straight Chevy victories. Back to talk with Rusty in just a moment.
Okay, Rusty, come on out. Okay, partner. Here we go. Big one over there.
For the 6th time, Rusty Wallace wins at Martinsville. He now has 12 wins in the last 31 short track races. To our McDonald's Winner's Circle interview, here's the good doctor.
Rusty, you're making a habit of this in Martinsville, 4 in a row here in the spring.
Well, I wanted to break the record. We did it today. Labonte broke Petty's 514 start. We broke the 4 in a row record. It was great. Just got the car right at the very end. It was not too girly. We got to fix it finally.
You guys got to be awfully proud of these guys who started Sunday night putting Ronnie back together after Wilkesboro.
They did a good job. My hands off to them. They worked the rear end off, and I drove it hard. Got a little warm out there. I got a little tired, but I'd like to thank Miller Brewing Company, Goodyear Tires, Fleetwood, Meade, all the guys out there did a hell of a job. I mean, all our sponsors, wonderful deal, and Bosch, all of them. It was a neat deal today. Ford Motor Company finally got their first win.
You were chasing Gordon. I heard Robin Pemberton tell you there's 15 to go. Go after him. Did you think you were going to be able to get by him? You thought it might be a little tougher?
I think he was stronger earlier in the race than he was at the end. I think something went wrong with him. He started slowing up or losing the brakes or something, but I was really killing him off the corner. And that's where my car was weak all day long. I finally got the turn good. It worked out.
Rusty Wallace becomes the 5th different winner in 1996.
Congratulations to Rusty Wallace, 42nd career win, 4 straight in the spring race. Here's Bill Weber with the new points leader.
And Dale Earnhardt is leading the points. You took a gamble here. You guys decided not to pit, Dale.
Yeah, well, the 28 faked us, and he's pitting on the back straightaway. Of course, he didn't pit either, and he ran second. But all their car got real loose after that, and we just sort of survived. I'm glad there wasn't any more cars in the lead lap than what they were, so we ended up 5th, and the points is looking okay. So we just got to start beating that 24, son. He's beat us the last several races. We got to start beating him.
Dale Earnhardt 5th on the race and 1st in points.
76-point advantage unofficially over Jeff Gordon at the end of this race. Back to wrap it up in a moment. ESPN Speed World coverage of the Goody's Headache Powder 500 from Martinsville being brought to you by Budweiser, official sponsor of the 1996 Olympic Summer Games. This Bud's for you. By McDonald's, on the track and in our restaurants, just watch us cook. And by Chevrolet. One car company has won more races in the history of NASCAR, genuine Chevrolet. Well, we take a look at the final results here this afternoon. 5 cars ended up on the lead lap, and Jeremy Mayfield had his career best.
A 4th place finish. Bobby Hamilton back in 6th. That ties his best for the year.
Darrell Waltrip, the winningest driver here at Martinsville, finishes in 16th position.
Terry Labonte wound up in 24th place.
After a tough break and after he ran up front for almost all of the event. We'll be back to wrap it up and get set for Shop Talk in just a moment. Stay with us. The new quest for the Cup points leader is Dale Earnhardt. Jeff Gordon increased by 4 to 2nd in the points, 76 behind Jarrett, Craven, and Labonte to complete the top 5. We're headed to Talladega. Friday qualifying, Saturday the ARCA race, Sunday NASCAR today, the Winston Select 500 at 1:30. Shop Talk next. So long, everyone.